in uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
Emmy-winning TV director James Burrows has died.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Burrows co-created Cheers, directing 243 of the 273 episodes, as well as all 246 episodes of Will and Grace. He also helmed multiple episodes of such hits as Frasier, Friends, Mike and Molly, and the pilots of 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory. Burrows was 85. Former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama personally greeted the first 100 visitors at the new Obama Presidential Center on the south side of Chicago on Friday. They were then joined by Reading Rainbow host LeVar Burton and read Where the Wild Things Are to 25 kids. For some of the host cities, the World Cup has led to traffic nightmares for locals.
World Cup matches are fun for fans, but not so much for commuters. Bob Pishu, an analyst for transportation firm Inrix, says traffic hotspots have popped up.
It really was a perfect storm for New York during this last match.
Many cities have taken extra steps to prepare.
Seattle opened up some lanes of traffic on a major bridge project that they're working, so they're putting that work off. Others are adding transit routes.
Pishu's advice, leave early.
Add on about 50% of the time it normally takes you.
Clara McMichael, ABC News.
And I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
I'm John Morgan at Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Over 35 years, I've seen it all. Car crashes, work injuries, defective products, medical mistakes, lives flipped upside down in an instant. But I've also seen something else, the power of fighting back, the power of winning. Over $30 billion recovered and counting. Size matters, reputation matters, results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwyck Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Partly cloudy through the overnight hours, low 55. Will be breezy Saturday with some sunshine. There could be an afternoon or evening thunder shower, high Saturday around 74, and mostly cloudy Sunday, high 78. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
We begin on this Saturday talking about the agreement, not as far as the peace agreement, because in my opinion, that's still on hold. But the agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz has been met with swift relief in markets. I noticed just yesterday, late in the evening, that gas had come under $4.40 a gallon. But some traders worry the rally in stocks and drop in oil prices might be overdone. West Texas Intermediate, the U.S. oil benchmark, settled at $76.60 a barrel on Thursday, down almost 10% on the week. Now, gas dipped below that $5 mark a gallon for the first time in months, and stocks are near record as far as highs are concerned. I told you before that it would get better, but this is where I'd like to take this lead story and opening monologue for another weekend with your Pratt Pack. If this is not an indication that we need to be energy independent, I don't know what is, because obviously we have not won that war because that regime will stay in power. And all of the, best laid plans of mice and men, this agreement as far as not making nuclear weapons will be broken. I mean, they're already trying to dictate other countries and what they must do before they will, sign on the dotted line. This is a group of ragtag criminals that run Iran, and they only know one way, death and destruction, and taking that money that is blood money from their oil-rich reserves and giving money to Hamas and Hezbollah. So what we need to do, if we're not going to have an opportunity to all-out win with our incredible men and women of the military of this great country, for whatever, even if it's a political reason, then so be it. Let's turn the page. And let's just simply get away. And as the president has said time and time again, let's just drill. Let's get the oil that we started with many, many, many decades and even a century or two ago, and let's start utilizing what we have as far as our minerals and those rich things that are the commodities that could truly turn our country around. Maybe not overnight, but maybe for future generations, so they won't have to be held hostage by that ragtag government, which has been in power since the late 70s, and as of today, in 2026, shows no signs of going away. If we can't win the war, for whatever reason, let us at least gain the upper hand when it comes to energy and give the United States and future generations a chance to carve out their own destiny. Yeah, it's very sad. I'm not really happy with this whole thing and how it's ending. But I take little things that make a big difference to try to get my mind back on positive things. And I want to talk about a couple of them right now. The Nippon U.S. Steel deal is a positive thing. And I have been reading lately there has been some pushback saying, what have they done since? And why hasn't it been done since? And when are they going to get started since? Listen, you got to crawl before you walk. The deal is done. The billions have been signed on the dotted line. The T's are crossed. The I's are dotted. They've come out with a plan saying what they're going to do. Look, even Carnegie and Frick and Morgan and Westinghouse weren't able to build the Steel City overnight. So this is a renaissance. This is us going back to the beginning. It's not going to happen overnight. And for those of you who are trying to push back by saying, see, I told you so, pump the brakes. And once again, the real reason I think that you are acting that way is because you don't like the fact that President Donald J. Trump was the one with that golden ticket that got this to the finish line. So if you're wondering why we're dealing with gas prices where they are, inflation where we are, the debt that we have, it's because anytime anybody brings a plan to the table, somebody simply says, no, I don't think so. It's not so much that we don't want to have progress in this country. We just don't want it to be done by a politician. We don't want that Pied Piper, whether they be in the nation's capital or our capital, saying, look what I or we did. Everything that we have in this country is either tied to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned ingenuity? That's right, where it's the people deciding what happens as far as the next step in America. Why can't we just go back to the entrepreneurial spirit and those who rise from the ashes to become conglomerates, meaning companies, corporations, presidents of companies, chairman of the board, or, that one individual who does something that carves his name or her name into history that will be around for a lifetime. It's frustrating to me that we have lost that pioneer spirit in America, the ability to look at the big picture and think about what possibilities lie ahead, as opposed to being stuck in the past and living in the present with nothing but anger when it comes to the political process as far as stopping progress when it comes to manufacturing and what I would like to say, the next opportunity for greatness in America. I'm not real pleased with the way this country is acting. And I see what's happening to the great city of Pittsburgh and the debt that they're dealing with and what happened to the COVID money. And you have a mayor who's out there literally making it happen by getting money from people that would have never even considered it before. And we had an incredible day yesterday with Juneteenth. What a celebration. What a day. Congratulations to everyone involved. Great coverage from the New Pittsburgh Courier, KDKA Radio, Odyssey. Just an amazing, amazing, amazing day. And that's the country that I love. That's the American spirit. That's what I want to see. But all of this negative talk. And doesn't anybody understand the only way we're going to get back to the summer of not our discontent, but the summer of a bright future, a better tomorrow, rolling into the fall in 2027 and beyond, is to start doing things in America. We have to stop dealing with foreign countries. We have to stop being held under the thumb by governments like Iran. And it's getting to the point now in Ukraine and Russia what's happening there, I don't know if it will end even in my lifetime. But I know one thing. We better start fighting battles within our own country and bringing this country together. You know, we're going to take a look at some of the historic things that have happened in our 250 years in this country, as that celebration is just literally days away. And I think some of the biggest turning points and the lessons that were not learned were the struggles that we overcame, from the Civil War to what was going on out in the West with Native Americans and everything from sea to shining sea in the latter portion of that 19th century. And we had a golden opportunity to right the ship, to give everybody an opportunity, even through 2 world wars, to embrace a country that was truly the land of opportunity. But after all of the anger and the angst and the hatred and the blood that was spilled across this country by people who were born in this country or came to this country and were a big part in creating this country, we continue to take step after step backwards. So why haven't we learned about the sacrifices that were made? And yes, why we have a chance to turn the tide in the right direction? Why is it that we just can't get out of our own way? So we have a lot of stuff to get to, not just today, but in the weeks to come as we get ready to celebrate the birth of a nation, 250 years. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM, AM 1020 KDKA, or on that Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can also watch this KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream, or now you can just go to KDK Radio YouTube page and watch everything that's happening in the studio. Hey, if you know someone in your community who's done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now at kdkradio.com to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes. And NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows is a click away. Email us at instantAccess@kdkradio.com, or you can call now, 866-391-1020. First couple of hours of the show today, it's all open talk with your Pratt Pack, and it's on the way next on KDKA.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
News Radio KDKA Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks at the Rockies last night. They lost 4-3. 2 teams again tonight. 9-10 first pitch on 93.7 The Fan. The United States secured its spot in the World Cup knockout rounds after defeating Australia 2-0, clinching first place in Group D thanks to Paraguay's 1-0 victory over Turkey. They will play their final group stage match against Turkey on June 25th at SoFi Stadium at 10 p.m. Eastern. Riverhounds take on the Hartford Athletic tonight at the U.S. Open with a 4-shot lead through 2 rounds. Wyndham Clark is at 700. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Take a walk around your house, and unless you've had CertaPro painters paint your exterior recently, you're thinking the same thing. I need to get rid of that drabby paint. I did this with CertaPro painters, and wow, what a difference. Get the job done right because you're working with the owners. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated, and I love that. And 70,000 5-star reviews can't be wrong. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Hi, this is elder law attorney Carl Zachariah. Betty called me last week because her mother's in a nursing home and had given her $30,000 2 years ago. I told her that 5-year look-back will not apply. We can get it fixed. Call Zachariah Brown at 724-942-6200 or visit PittsburghElderLaw.com.
It's the City of Pittsburgh Independence Day celebration. Join us at Point State Park July 4th beginning at 4 p.m. for free family fun, music, food, and much more. Then hop across the river to the North Shore for music on the PNC Great Lawn and enjoy the Remax Hot Air Balloon and the brand new Pyatt Company's Salute the Service Wheel. The day's main attraction, fireworks, begins at 9:35 and is heard exclusively on 100.1 FM KDKA Radio. For details, go to kdkaradio.com.
Join Beth Andrews for the Net Worth Financial Hour Saturdays at 1 to get the news and information you need to make your retirement dream a reality. That's the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews, Saturdays at 1. Net Worth Advisors, LLC is a registered investment advisor.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Everything you need, every time you listen. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, let's get going. 866-391-1020. Here's Rich in Jefferson Hills. First up with your Pratt Pack on a Saturday morning at KDKA. Hey, Rich.
Good morning, Rob. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm just getting ready to walk up at TJ Stadium here in Jefferson Hills. But I have to tell you, I heard what you're talking about, and I agree. America, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, whatever you want to say, grassroots, get down to, I don't need the government to, you know what, I fantasize about opening 2 different businesses in my life, and I should have taken the opportunity to do it. I didn't. I ended up I retired from the school district, HVAC, heating, and air conditioning. The bottom line is, Rob, people today look for the government to help them out. You know what? The entrepreneur, and I've read many stories about entrepreneurs. They started with nothing. And if you start with nothing, Hartley King was a good example. He's a good friend of mine. Started with nothing and ended up, he left a legacy to his grandchildren. Let me tell you, this guy was a worker. He didn't ask for anything. He just kept on working and grinding away. The same with people today. If you want to start a business, you can start a business. It might be rough in the beginning, but you don't have to ask. And the government, they're always willing to give you tax breaks on property taxes, business taxes. There's help out there, but we depend so much on the government. I depend on the government every month for my Social Security check. Other than that, that's my money anyway. But why do people think that they need to drag on the government? You know what? We're already in gazillions of dollars of debt. Why put us more into debt? Why can't you show what America was made of? People came on boats to Ellis Island, signed in, and you know what? They had jack. They had nothing. Many millionaires came out of Ellis Island. But today, the workforce, too, that's the other thing, too. The workforce today, they got their hand out for their money, but do they have any backbone to do the work? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, what worries me, unless we start getting back to that entrepreneurial spirit that Hartley King was famous for and so many others, my friend Lou Papin. I mean, we'll be here all night talking about some of the great people from Western Pennsylvania, but they took chances, but they rolled up their sleeves, they went to work. I think we've lost our way, that even if we had to start drilling for oil and creating energy pockets, I don't know if we would have the workforce to be able to ramp it up across the country, because we've all gotten so far away from that actual physical labor in this country, sadly, that I'm just curious if we would have the backbone to get it done. And right now, this story in the Middle East should let you know we don't control our own destiny in this country, Rich, and that's what's scary.
I know we don't control it anymore, because even though America's a great place to live, God bless America, but yet we're controlled by other countries and the nonsense that goes on there. And the man's trying to do his best to get the control back. But once again, I hate to talk about politics, but let him do his job. Let him do what he said he was going to do to help America. He loves America. And that's my own belief. That's not everybody's belief. A lot of people hate him. They despise him. There's another person that started probably with his first million, maybe his dad gave him, but he rose up from that. But people, why do they despise him too? Let him help America become great again.
That's because he's gregarious, and he's also telling America. And if you connect all the dots and everything that he has been about, even though he hasn't come out and said it, he wants America to get up off the couch and go to work, to represent this country and control their own destiny, and being able to control what lies ahead. And he's trying to do it in a gentle, compassionate way, even taking some of the heat and putting it on him, and even doing drastic things with other nations to make people say, this guy's really standing up for us. But I really think the reason people don't like him, because they don't want to have to work. That's sad.
Exactly. You know what, Rob? How many times when your children, you had to give them a swift kick up the butt, say, you know what, let's get moving. If you want to be something in life, you got to make it yourself. My wife, God bless her, she's up in heaven, said to my 2 children, a son and a daughter, if you want something, you got to work for it. We'll help you. They're both successful. The bottom line is you need that entrepreneurship. My kids worked from middle school all the way through college at Kennywood, got a real understanding of work and what it meant to make a buck. But the thing about roll up your sleeves, That picture, that war picture, where that woman is not the riveter, but the other woman that's rolling up her sleeves and welding. That's the America that we should be doing today. Roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty. If you got a pick and shovel, which they don't even do that anymore today, they got backhoes to do that, little hawk toes to do that. But get back to making America great again, by making yourself great, and you can do great things if you put your mind to it.
Rich, I just don't understand why people will settle for second and third best. Nobody wants to win anymore. They think, well, as long as I can have the government take care of me and I can get by, so be it. I don't know.
Why are you dependent? Why should you be dependent on the government? Why isn't that sort of like a leech? You're like a leech to me and you. You're a leech to people that are working. I mean, I'm retired now, but I still do work for people, take care of people's furnaces, air conditioning. The bottom line is, Rob, that the want to work is way by the wayside. It's gone away. It's like, how can I make a good living doing nothing? Or government give me some money and then I don't know, Rob, to sit at home and wait for a check and not do anything. My friends, they say, you're always on the move, Rich. You know what? Because if I'm on the move, they can't throw dirt on me. The bottom line is, Rob, we've lost America to roll up your sleeves and get crap done. I don't know. That's it.
You're right. We got to get stuff done in America. And see, here's the other thing. When your children and grandchildren see you working, they want to work too. I remember being a small child looking out that big picture window that we had in all those ranch homes of the 50s and 60s had, watching my dad cut grass. It made me want to get out there and cut grass with him. I'd see him shoveling snow. I wanted to get out there. I wanted to, it's sad, but we have so many people now that they have other people cutting their grass, shoveling their snow, so their kids don't even grow up seeing this stuff. Or, running the sweeper. They've got people coming in, cleaning their houses. And there's nothing wrong with that if you can do it, but you have to show your kids a little bit of work ethic along the way, because if you don't, they're not going to understand what they need to do when it's time for them to pick up the ball.
That's right, Rob, because you know what? I still shovel snow in my friend's house that I live with. She goes, well, I have a snowblower. I said, I enjoy shoveling snow. In the good old days, when I was a kid growing up, it would snow. I would be out there knocking on doors. Hey, can I do your sidewalk for you? But then again, today, in my friend's neighborhood, maybe one kid I might see with a shovel on his back pulling a snowblower. Even at a young age, we've lost it, Rob. We've lost it in America. I don't need the government to hand me money every month. I don't need that. I have my pension and my Social Security. I work for all that. But the bottom line is, Rob, where the work ethic, and it comes from you and me, how we instilled in our children. My children worked. They got great jobs now. I try to instill in my granddaughters. I have 2 granddaughters. I instill in them, you know what, please, thank you, God bless you, and hold the door for people. And I'll help you clean up after yourself, but I'm not going to clean up after you.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. See, that's another thing. We had chores, things we had to do every day.
Amen.
Before you went out and played, even on a day like today, you had to make your bed. You had to take out the trash. You had to run the sweeper. You had to help your mother put dishes away. Hey, don't go anywhere. Your dad's bringing groceries home. You need to help him put them away and carry them in from the car. I mean, just little things like that get the brain functioning in that muscle memory as they continue to do this stuff throughout their life. It all begins early, and we have stopped it for so many generations that it's lapped over from one generation to the next. And that's why that's the real reason why we are morally bankrupt in this country, Rich. Because we just have stopped teaching. That's it.
And my daughter happens to be a school teacher, ESL teacher, and she says, Dad, once the kids from other countries get Americanized by the kids, they start acting like them, like sort of shiftless, like, oh, what can you give me? What can you give me? You know what? What can I do for you? How can I help you out? What can I do to make myself better? Don't you always want, I always wanted my kids, which they do, have more than me, better jobs than me. Don't you always want better for I want better for my grandchildren. I want to see them go to college, get married.
You listen, we all want more for the next generation, especially if it's tied to us. And Rich, I've got to get to a break, but you know as well as I do, the only way that happens if we show them the way, correct?
God bless you, Bob. God bless, right.
All right, buddy. Have a great walk. All right, 866-391-1020. Time for you to jump on the lines. We are in open talk until 7 o'clock this morning. We're going to kind of start doing that timeline stuff on the other side of ABC News, talking about some of the greatest moments in America's history that were some of the toughest, but we overcame them. And it's like if they overcame all of these things during this 250-year span, especially at the 19th, the end of that century, going into the 20th century and everything that happened, if they were able to overcome those challenges, why can't we get together today? 866-391-1020.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap GoodRx, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang, that one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. This special offer is only available by calling 800-208-8750. That's 800-208-8750.
Paid for by Bath Concepts Industries.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When you call yourself the voice of Pittsburgh, you have to know when to not talk. Sometimes you just need to be the ears of Pittsburgh. Just listen. Listen to what you have to say. These are complicated and uncertain times, but when you need us, we are here for you, and we're listening. A trusted source that you can count on to be here. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. President Trump Friday touting the deal with Iran that's reopened a key shipping channel.
Those ships are flowing out of the Hormuz Strait like nobody's ever seen before, actually. There were a lot of them, about 700 of them, and they're pouring out. The oil is all over the place.
But those negotiations with Iran are on pause. Iran wants Israel to stop attacking Hezbollah. Now, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is en route to Switzerland, where Jared Kushner is expected to join him, says a U.S. official. The remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur battering parts of the southeastern United States. Heavy rain sparking flash flood and tornado warnings along the Gulf Coast. The Trump administration officials saying that they insist there no longer is a plan to distribute money from an anti-weaponization fund stemming from President Trump's settled lawsuit against the IRS, but the Justice Department officials there won't swear to that in court. One person dead, more than 90 injured after two passenger trains collided in England north of London Friday. This is ABC News.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There will be a mix of sun and clouds and a breeze today with an afternoon and evening thunder shower. The high will be 76. Otherwise, clear to partly cloudy tonight with a low of 56. Then for Father's Day, expect more clouds than sun, high 78. And on Monday, humid and cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 73. For AccuWeather, I'm Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, it's the weekend, and it's a great one, but I'll be back Monday. Can't wait. 2 to 6 right here. Colin Dunlap.
All right, I've got to talk about this World Cup for just a moment. My mind does at times go places that I think brilliant, but where did that come from? So yesterday I was out and about doing some social media work, and I was headed home, after dinner time, and I was thinking, Team USA had beaten Australia. And I see all of these fans, coming from all over the world, just really fun stories, singing this, that. I mean, Boston's running out of booze because, they're just having a party after a party after a party. These, impromptu karaoke's and bars and singing, songs that they would never even think of singing in their native country, like Take Me Home, Country Roads, people from Scotland singing it and really singing in tune, too. But the fans showing up by the tens of thousands and on opposing sides, as far as Australia, United States, and people like Morocco, and just places that you and I will never see in our lifetime. But why is it that everybody can get along when it comes to a soccer match? You even have Iran participating, okay? And we can't get along at all in real life. So I was thinking maybe what we should do, whenever we have some sort of eternal conflict, we should just have a soccer match on a pitch somewhere, and winner get basically what they want. I mean, sadly, that's where we're at right now, because diplomacy doesn't work. Obviously, war doesn't work. We couldn't even defeat Iran. And I don't care what any of you say. Whatever you think, Iran basically is getting everything they want. They get to stay in power. Somebody's going to be giving them a bucket of money. They're kind of putting the squeeze on Israel a little bit, which I think is a bad mistake. And if you think they're going to stop making these weapons, you better think again. And I don't have a problem with the Iranian soccer team being here because they're not a part of the government. The Iranian people aren't part of the government. This is the government's fault. And the president in that clip from ABC News, you can think all you want about, oh my, he's right. The Straits of Hormuz are open and the price of gas is coming down. It's still going to take to the end of summer. And by then, most people will be done with their vacation. And if I saw somebody in the Democratic Party that actually gave me excitement and hope, I'd say it. But I'm not really so thrilled with the Democratic Party either. And we have this governor's race in Pennsylvania. When are they going to start talking about real issues like manufacturing, building, creating, all of this kumbaya stuff? It's great. It makes for good photo ops and political ads. But when are we going to start seeing meat and potatoes, stuff that really matters? And then we have this thing with U.S. Steel and the Pawn Steel. And it's really a big deal, and it's happening, and a lot of good things are going down, and all we have is people pushing back. We haven't seen anything yet. When is this thing going to take off? I mean, we can't, as I said earlier, get out of our own way. And we have such divide in this country between Republicans and Democrats and young and not so young. Nobody can agree, or at least say, we agree to disagree, but let's move forward and do what's best for our neighborhood, our family, our region, our country. But on the soccer pitch, everybody loves everyone. It's like making s'mores sitting around a campfire. These crowds are massive. You even heard in that ABC News report earlier today about these major traffic jams that are really, paralyzing cities. But nobody's upset. Nobody's upset. You know why? Because everybody loves going to these World Cup matches. And, the United States, they haven't won their first two in the World Cup since 1930. They could actually be a contender for this thing. So how is it that we got together enough to create a soccer team that is now more than just relevant on the World Cup, and we've never been relevant as far as the World Cup, but we can't settle things in Washington that help us do better business on the world stage. How is it that we've gotten so upside down in our country that we're trillions in debt? And people like Iran and that government, they have no debt. They've got cash everywhere. I mean, it's spilling out of the sky in Iran for them. And it's a continuous cash flow. Who made the decision in America to let it get this way? Seriously, who made the decision to let it get this way in America? Where did it happen? All right, so let's go back now with this timeline. I've been trying to really do a lot of research, spending a lot of time when I'm at home, which has been rare of late, just trying to put some stuff together to make me think, how can I explain to our audience that we should be happy about 250, we should embrace it, but even since 1976, how much we have really put ourselves in this position. So you go back to the Civil War, okay? And just prior to the Civil War and during the Civil War, many people were trying to go out west. And you had the gold rush. And then you had the Native Americans who simply were just destroyed, disrespected, and absolutely one of the ugliest things that's ever happened in our country's history. How could we do such horrible things, including some of the people like Mr. Sherman and others, and Ulysses S. Grant, and even Abraham Lincoln, what we did to these Native Americans who simply just wanted to hang on to their land, and how we should have found a better way. But they were the ones who really cultivated the West, because we, meaning during the Revolutionary War, the signing of that Declaration of Independence and Constitution, you had the Mohawks and others here on the banks of these rivers that we call Pittsburgh, and we just kept pushing them west, and they just were resilient and found a way to make it work. Native Americans are truly the most important part of this 250-year history when you think about it. Really, they are. And how they got treated and how it ended up for them is devastating. And what we, meaning the people that were running our country at that time, who were building the nation pre and post-Civil War, basically did horrific things to them. And some met their fate, like George Custer at Little Bighorn, and names like Crazy Horse and Red Cloud and Sitting Bull. I don't think a lot of people realize those people are just as important as any other historic names. But the things that they taught us, how to live off the land, how to grow things, create things, it basically started the agriculture, the farming industry, which we now love, and it is our top commodity in this country. But we have forgotten that. And we've gotten to the point now where people don't even understand the first thing when it comes to planting food, living off the land, because the work you put in is how you stay alive to survive. They survived harsh winters in places like Wyoming and Montana, and they just kept working. But we kept pushing. Wouldn't it have been nice imagine if we would have come together and actually worked as one? And what they could have showed us and what we were able to do because of the industrial age. But it didn't happen. There's always been this great divide. But we did come together when it came to World War I. And we did build these steel industries and these coal mines, and we started things like nuclear energy, and now with natural gas and all the technology and electricity and everything that we have done in this country over the last 250 years, we've overcome so much. And now here we are getting ready to celebrate 250. Think about what's happened since 1976. We lost our manufacturing base. We opened up this global economy that has literally bankrupted America. $38 trillion in debt, $1 trillion credit card debt. Do you understand that those people at the turn of the 19th going into the 20th century, they didn't have credit. If they didn't have cash, they didn't get it. And they found a way to make it work. But they still held on to that family unit and that moral compass. And then we had the explosion of the roaring 20s up until the stock market crashed. But you know what? The world didn't die. We didn't bury our heads in the sand. People found a way. And we elected politicians like FDR, who really was a person of the people of the United States of America. And guess what? He being a Democrat, Republicans and Democrats came together saying, look, we have to rebuild America, and we have to stand up for America, and we have to fight Nazi Germany. And we have to find a way to keep this country free and the rest of the world. Imagine if the attitude that we have today, how no one respects, in most cases, any politician, and you have such a great divide, as far as our president is concerned. Imagine if the country was like that. And on the heels of a depression, which right now, when you look at $38 trillion in debt, compared to even the depression, I think we are worse off now than we were then, because people would basically share food, share shelter. Everybody worked together. They understood that violence wasn't the way out, but leaning in and helping each other was the way back. And now what do we have? Hatred, violence, debt, unemployment. A military that can't even be given the door to victory in Iran when that should have been over in a matter of weeks. We've been held crippled and literally hostage by this government in Iran to where people can't even afford to get in their car to go to work or on vacation because they can't afford a gallon of gasoline. But what do we want to do in this country? We want to blame the people that sell the gas, the blue chip stock companies. We want to blame the convenience store. It's not their fault, none of their fault. And same thing with all the crime. We want to blame the police. They're not doing their job. Why can't they help? Back in the day when the Depression was underway and that turn of the 19th into the 20th century, when our streets in Pittsburgh were full of immigrants and people here just a pocket full of nothing and a head full of dreams, they stood up for each other. They protected one another. They stopped the crime. They helped the police get things done. People from all walks of life, whether you be Irish, Italian, or a Polish, Native American, Black American, White American, even though we had our differences and racism was at an all-time high, as was anti-Semitism and everything that's ugly. But when push came to shove, like fighting a foreign power or growing things, creating, standing side by side on that assembly line or in that steel plant, we did it. So can anybody explain to me what went wrong in America? Let's just focus on that 50-year period between 1976 and 2026. Think about all the things that have happened in the last 50 years. And sadly, we baby boomers who were coming of age in 76 and now are of age in that senior category in 2026, what have we done, I ask you, to make America a better place? What can we do to make America a better place? I want to hear from you. 866-391-1020. All the lines are open. We are in open talk until 7. That should be more than enough for you to chime in and join me today on this Saturday morning. Your Pratt Pack, KDKA. Good morning.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve your Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks at the Rockies last night. They lost 4-3. Two teams again tonight. 9-10 first pitch on 93.7 The Fan. The United States secured its spot in the World Cup knockout rounds after defeating Australia 2-0, clinching first place in Group D thanks to Paraguay's 1-0 victory over Turkey. They will play their final group stage match against Turkey on June 25th at SoFi Stadium at 10 p.m. Eastern. Riverhounds take on the Hartford Athletic tonight at the U.S. Open with a 4-shot lead through 2 rounds. Wyndham Clark is at 7 under. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. Control of Group E is on the line in Toronto as Germany faces the Ivory Coast. Germany exploded for 7 goals in their opening match against Curacao. This will be a much tougher test against an Ivory Coast side that scratched out a win over Ecuador in their first match. I'm Mike Conti.
Don't know who to trust? Go with the sure thing. PJ Fitzpatrick has been your trusted roofer for 45 years. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. The PJ Fitzpatrick team of experienced professionals install most roofs in just one day. Set up a free consultation this month to save thousands. Plus, they have a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Don't wait. Visit trustpj.com today.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwick Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Tickets for Kids will host the Dress Big Happy Hour on Wednesday, July 22nd from 4 to 7 p.m. in the Casamigos Club at PPG Paints Arena. Join sports celebrities and TFK's friends from the ticketing, nonprofit, corporate, and foundation communities for a silent auction, hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar, and the chance to play carnival games on the arena floor. For tickets, go to the events link at ticketsforkids.org.
Where Pittsburgh comes to talk. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, let's get to Andy in Butler. Then it's George and Ted. Andy, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Rob. Nice to be able to talk to you this morning. So I think last time I talked to you, I talked about people are loving the World Cup going on. Mostly it's people that have come to the United States and are seeing what America is like are loving the United States because they're used to their news talking about how bad America is, and they actually get here and they found out America is fantastic, okay? And most Americans are rightly proud of the team. It wasn't that long ago that we didn't have a great team when it came to football, soccer, as we call it. I think the rest of the world calls it football. But we've got a good team going on now. They're doing really well, and that's good. Now, there are some Americans who don't want our team to win because they don't want anything good to happen under this president. And a lot of those are the same people who are crying how horrible it is in America right now. All right? So you can decide what you want. You can either be like the people that are coming here from overseas and seeing everything that's good and how great it is here and how we've got things that they don't have, or you can decide that Trump's terrible and he made everything go bad, and that's the reason why your life is horrible. You talk about, let's talk about what happened from the 70s until now, okay? Well, I know what happened from the 70s until like 1994, whenever the Republican Revolution came in. For half of that time, we had a whole lot of Democratic rule. For the rest of that time, we had pretty much mixed Republicans and Democratic rule. So I'm not blaming it on one party or the other party. But we've got a mindset in America where, like you said, I'm all for my side, you're all for your side, and nobody's for America's side. All right? Or everybody's for America's side, except we all claim that you're not for America's side, but I am for America's side. And both sides claim all that stuff. So I think we should all take a little bit of a lesson from the guests who have arrived in our country and are seeing all the things in America that they're falling in love with, from Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders to ranch dressing. All right? And you're right. We kind of we don't pay attention to the things we have here. It makes it easier to criticize. Okay. Now, you said, when are the people in Pittsburgh? When are the powers that be going to start in this governor's race? Going to start talking about meat and potatoes? You're not going to get it. Okay, that's not going to be the discussion for the governor's race. It's not going to have anything to do with meat and potatoes. On the Democratic side, the discussion you're going to have for the governor's race is going to be how bad Trump is, okay? And on the Republican side, what you're going to have for, the thing is America is doing well. And I think America is doing well, although a lot of people aren't seeing it yet. But, and Rob, I remember you specifically talking about the price of gas was too high. And I agree with it. It was. And now the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open. And the other day what you were saying was, well, you're all going to get your cheap gas again because you weren't happy with how this thing ended. So I remember you before yelling about the price of gas was too high. And then when something finally happens that's going to change that, now you're upset because we didn't go in to Iran and put troops on the ground and invade and take over so that we could get a win. But I remember before you weren't comfortable with the idea of the United States sending in troops. So I wish at some point you would just pick something and stay with it. But
that's the way it is, man. What can I say? Sometimes,
but that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
You said it perfectly.
I can't tell you. Listen, I wanted troops from the very beginning, so we can agree to disagree, but it's too early in the morning for me to try to remember what I did last week. All I can tell you is we didn't win the war, and it's going to happen again, and the price will come down, and guess what? He will be out of office, and it'll be nothing more than a repeat performance of Groundhog Day. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. It's the same old rhetoric, and there's nothing else I can do.
Rob, lots of people listen, okay? And a lot of people, mostly on your side of the aisle. I'm not saying you, I'm saying your
That's
side of the
okay.
aisle.
You can say my side of the aisle. I'm tired of changing your mind, so you can say whatever you want, Andy. Go ahead.
Okay, a lot of Democrats, all right, wanted to paint this as not a war that would help the United States. It was all Trump's war. It was all this. It was all that. It wasn't going to do us any good. Well, okay, half the country was against it. He fought it for as long as he could. Okay, you're saying you've already predicted failure going forward when you don't even. We haven't even seen the beginning of going forward yet, because everybody says, well, they're just going to go back to doing what they did before. And you're probably right, they are. But the only solution to that would have been the one thing that just about every Democrat yelled and screamed we couldn't do. So, but you know what? You summed it up perfectly. That's the way it is. Anyway, hey, Rob, it's good talking to you.
Okay, man.
Have a good morning.
I will. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, listen, it is what it is. All right, 866-391-1020. Here's George in Clairton. Hey, George.
Hello, Rob. You know, we can go decade by decade, and we have done that for a long time of what's happened. That's my specialty. That's when I was 19 and a half, and you were a year younger. Not even. You're 2 months younger. And, you know, that was a glorious time in this area. Not for long. From 76 to early 80s, and whether it was voodoo economics or Reagan, whatever happened, I don't understand. With the tariffs, you know, the tariffs seemed to be Donald Trump's thing to get us back to work. Ronald Reagan wanted, I don't know, didn't have much tariffs. We had so much dumping going on then. It was a total opposite. That confuses me there. And then we got into a lot of things going on. Drugs got big, crack got big, and there's a whole conspiracy, which I believe in. We talked about a couple of years ago with Ollie North and the whole bit. But I think what we're going to see now, and we know where we are there, we got stuck in that drug mentality, hard drugs with the crack cocaine, and that's where we stayed. We stayed in organized gangs for quite a while into the 90s, 2000s. I mean, we had different presidents come up. Every president almost had 2 terms. Everyone had a chance to try stuff. But I'll tell you what we're going to see now, just the outcome of this debauchery. And I was in Trump's corner for a few weeks. I knew it was going to be 2 days. But we're going to see that this AIPAC, we're going to see Benjamin Netanyahu, and all of that, and I am not anti-Jewish, but I am very cautious with Zionism because that is a true right wing. And there's a difference in the Likud and the socialist parties. There's a difference in Menachem Begin and so many others in Israel, just like there was here. Okay? And this is where we're all going to have to think out of the box. There's time to pause, rest, and reflect, but this isn't the time. We got to get back and think right now.
We got to do it right now, not tomorrow, not next week. But here's the problem. And this is where I just said moments ago, it is what it is. People don't want change. They just want consistency, even if it is apathy. And to me, that's a disgrace to this nation as we get ready for 250. Nobody is wanting to think outside the box. Nobody wants to create or think something different. They don't want to try to rewrite. They want the same old script. They want the repeat of what they've been doing for the last 10, 20, and 30 years. And to me, apathy is what is going to bring this country down. 866-391-1020. Ted and Joe, you're all coming up next on KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
I'm doing a porch concert in Morningside today where I'm going to be singing. You want a little, you want a sample?
Yes, let's go.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me.
Perfect Juneteenth song.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Here's the tale of the Daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. This special offer is only available by calling 800-208-8750. That's 800-208-8750.
Paid for by Bath Concepts Industries.
Hey, folks, my friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Scott from Aspinwall was amazed at NASCO's quality, honesty, work ethic, and superior craftsmanship. Scott loved working with NASCO and appreciated that NASCO doesn't use high-pressure sales tactics like other companies. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Scott. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Julian Gray Associates has the most certified elder law attorneys of any law firm in the nation, right here in Pittsburgh. They also have experienced social workers so that you can prepare a plan to age with dignity that you can afford. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. The FBI offers a $25,000 reward for an arrest in Kansas City. Interstate shootings. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky.
Kansas City police say Oscar Sanchez Munoz shot 5 people, killing 1 and injuring 4 others.
They were driving down the highway or roadway when 1 or more shots were fired into their vehicles.
Police descended on 2 homes where they thought Sanchez Munoz could be. One caught fire. At the other, spent shells from the ammunition police used to get inside, littering the ground. Several windows shattered. A search of the place ended, though, with no sign of the suspect.
There continues to be flash flooding emergencies across parts of the South after violent storms. A shouting match at the UN over accusations that Israeli soldiers and settlers have committed sexual violence against Palestinians. Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon and United Nations Special Representative Vanessa Frazier.
It should not be personal. You part of the bullying.
I have a point of order.
Shame on you.
I have
you
a point of order.
You spoke,
I
now
will
I
not
speak.
walk out.
Arguing at a meeting yesterday, just weeks after the UN added Israel to a list of countries suspected of committing sexual violence in war zones. A federal judge has rejected former President Joe Biden's attempt to block the Trump administration from releasing to a conservative group recordings that Biden made with a ghostwriter. The judge says the public interest outweighed whatever privacy rights Biden had, but she put her ruling on hold for up to 3 weeks so Biden can appeal. Republicans in Congress demanded the recordings after the judge declined to file charges against Biden over whether he improperly had classified documents in his possession. World Cup fever spreads after the U.S. men's soccer team defeated Australia 2-0 in Seattle yesterday. Cody McClary of Texas among the visitors in the World Cup host city.
We love it. This weather is amazing. It's like 100 back home, so this is great.
It's the first time since 1930 the U.S. men have won their first 2 games. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the secret war on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
Time is up for TikTok, says Florida's top prosecutor, announcing a lawsuit against the tech giant to force changes to restrict access by children to inappropriate content.
We want to make sure that they're limiting young teenagers and kids from accessing these sites, that they've got proper parental controls in place, that they're doing content moderation sufficiently to identify where child predators are going after kids.
Florida State Attorney General James Othmeyer says social media companies are making billions. TV director and creative executive James Burrows has died. He helped steer Cheers, Taxi, Friends, Will and Grace, and other series. Burrows was 85. In the Revenue to the Rescue Department, ABC's Wayne Cabot.
One of the few black-owned banks in the U.S. is introducing a debit card aimed at helping single mothers who live in government-subsidized housing escape poverty. The Bank King Card debit card makes a donation from every account opened to nonprofits that will steer the funding to needy families.
Who knew that creating these colors to eat just isn't easy? ABC's Jim Ryan.
As M&M's prepares to celebrate its 85th anniversary this August, the Mars Candy Company plans to debut a new version of the popular treat without artificial dyes. But there's a problem. Mars admits that creating brown and blue naturally has been a challenge and will require more workshopping before they're ready for a full 6-color rollout.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Your home should be your happy place. Hi, this is Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. If you're sitting around your house, you see the faded colors and peeling paint, I got to get this done. We'll get it done right the first time with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. I love that. Get a free estimate, all the details, easy to understand, and it will brighten up your home. Then it will be a happy place. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
It'll be breezy and partly sunny today with an afternoon and evening thunder shower, high 76, then clear to partly cloudy tonight with a low of 56. Tomorrow, expect more clouds than sun with a high of 73, and on Monday, cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 73. For AccuWeather, I'm Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli.
Once again, we are honoring dads on this Father's Day weekend. Men with children who are growing or have left the nest, and those with grandchildren. This is our time to express gratitude for fathers. It is also time to remember fathers no longer with us and dads who are our heroes. So here's to the fathers of all ages and those who have left us. Men who are dependable, involved, compassionate, honest, playful, industrious, and just great human beings. Happy Father's Day.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, you're Pat Pack, and we're back at it. Want to remind you, Brian Carantis, Cure Money Advisors, and his team will be answering questions on Tuesday, June 23rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. regarding your retirement planning. Mark it on your calendar. Here's Ted, Mount Washington. He joins us on KDKA. Hey, Ted.
What's going on, Rob?
Saturday morning, Father's Day weekend. All is right with the world. How about you?
Oh, living that American dream.
There you go.
Hey, first of all, I like to say Happy Father's Day to you, man.
Thanks, brother.
And also, remember when you tell people about Russia is probably going to invade Ukraine and everybody thought you was crazy?
Yeah. I know. I can't win. Listen, I can't win for losing.
Even I didn't believe you.
I can't win for losing, you know? I speak my mind. And people twist words. I've come to the point now where I'm going to state my case, and wherever the chips fall, so be it. But I'm telling you right now, we are on the tipping point of a world war. And after this display in Iran, I'm not so sure we could win. And that's sad, but it's true.
Rob, hey, the truth is the truth. It's a national disgrace. Absolutely a national disgrace. And I'll be honest, I was shocked of the vice president, what he said about Israel. For one.
Yeah, that was a cheap shot on his part. That was a cheap shot on his part.
It was a disgrace. Because one thing about America, man, if we don't support our friends, we won't have any. Okay? We will not have any. And don't think Taiwan, the other countries, didn't pay attention to what was going on. It's a national disgrace. And you're right. There is no winners. We lost. Even Republicans can't stand what happened. And I'll be honest, it's just the end of this administration. And my warning to the next administration, Democrat, Republican, they better have answers. They better have answers. It's easy to complain about the guy in office until it becomes your problem. And I don't hear any answers from either side. And this bill's so bad, you don't hear a word from Rubio, Mark Rubio. He's so embarrassed of what happened in the middle, he's not even talking. And I feel for the vice president because he tried to sell something nobody wants.
Well, let me tell you, what was happening in Iran will cost the Republicans their presidency in 2028. They're done. And President Trump will never accomplish anything after this debacle. Sad to say. I mean, he should have not even got in it if he didn't expect to win it. And I can't believe how this thing ended. Basically, Iran is going to get help from everyone. They're no worse from the where. They look like this powerful nation now because they held off the great United States. No matter how he tries to spin it, no matter what they try to say, we did not win that war. End of story.
Absolutely. And you know what? We can't even support Ukraine. We can't even do anything in the Middle East. Okay? We used to be able to fight two wars at the same time. Can't do it anymore. Can't even manufacture anymore. And you're right. It's just a steady decline. And we're in debt, and we don't want to face the fact that we got to make some hard choices. And we got to do some hard things. And I just don't understand with this nation. But you know what? Maybe when a crisis happens, maybe we'll find our American spirit. Maybe we'll pull together. But I agree with you, Rob.
And by the way, we're about 6 months away from the guy in the white beard and the red suit from showing up. Come on, Teddy. Come on. What we've done is, in the last 50 years, we've done everything to destroy America. Let's just call. I mean, the Vietnam War didn't end right. We had the aftermath of Watergate, the loss of our manufacturing base, the loss of the middle class. Politicians have never been trusted since Tricky Dicky Nixon, with the two-fisted peace sign, got on Marine One and flew off to San Clemente. Our country, I don't know where the grit's coming from. John Wayne's dead. I'm sorry. It's just, it's not.
Right. Well, I mean, but like I said before, I will say this to be optimistic about it. Look, as Americans, we're all that. We're a violent country, but also a very forgiving country, also a very resourceful country. And we got the best anthem in the world. So hopefully we'll get younger leaders, and we'll get people that have common sense, that are able to tap into our traditions and pull this country together and get it off its knees. Because I agree with you. Right now, it's at an all-time low. And it's easy to be pessimistic and say, hey, you know what, we're in decline. But the one thing about this country, you can participate in the system and make a difference. So I'm hoping that people get involved, stop complaining, and take this country back.
Well, let me tell you, we can't even get people to come out and vote, Ted. I mean, people don't care. All they want to do is argue. Or if you even bring it up to somebody, they'll go, I really don't care. I mean, there's no fire in the belly right now. Think about it. The city financially bankrupt. The crime is at an all-time high. Homelessness continues to become in record numbers going upwards. These job reports, they're only minimum wage jobs. They're not life-changing and life-altering jobs. You get a deal like Nippon U.S. Steel to where billions have been spent and hundreds of millions are going to be spent locally, and people are complaining it was a joke. It's not happening fast enough. I told you so. I mean, we cannot, as I said earlier, get out of our own way. And this situation in Iran is like the big fat cherry on the sundae. It's just no matter how you look at it, it's depressing to even think what they did to us, this ragtag regime, what they did to the most powerful free nation in the world. And you can't tell me that our military couldn't have won that thing in 2 weeks. Come on.
Of course it could, Rob, but it reminds me of, like I told you before, LBJ. He had his great society. He had a war in Vietnam. You can't have both. This president did the exact same thing. He was more worried about high gas prices than winning the war. And I told you, he was never committed in the beginning. He didn't believe in it. And when you got a president that's like that, that's how people get killed. You can't send troops into battle if you don't even believe you can win. And he got exposed for it. So we've seen this before. And people pay with their lives. So eventually we'll get a president, hopefully, that knows what they're doing. And when we commit fully. And, I'm just saying, Trump is done. There's no other way to cut it. It's over for him and over for the whole administration. So we need to move on. We need to find new leaders and someone that knows what they're doing.
Let me tell you something. All these people used to talk about him resigning while in office. I used to go, you're like Carville and all them, and I'm like, that's not going to happen. You know, and I wouldn't be shocked. Because Teddy, he's not going to get anything done now. And I wanted him to succeed.
No. Well, sometimes you have bad administrations. I keep telling you, from Kennedy to Reagan, every president there was a failed president, from LBJ on until we got Reagan. Okay? So there is a possibility we get somebody in the system that really knows what they're doing. Okay, so right now, unfortunately, went to Trump and Biden. They were terrible. Okay, it's called what it is. These guys are failed administrators. Just failed presidents. So
right.
We have a chance to get somebody.
All right, Teddy, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. I got Joe in Mount Oliver, Bishop in Denora. Love to hear from you. We're in open talk for about 45 more minutes. Then we get ready. Have that news at 7 with David, and then, of course, we'll roll into our Pittsburgh Works programming. 866-391-1020. Look, nobody wants to be Debbie Downer, but the fact of the matter is, you know that I'm right. And if you don't, you haven't been really listening to the news. I mean, we knock out their Air Force, their Army, their Navy, and we still have not got an unconditional surrender. We're basically waiting for them to tell us when they're ready to sign. It's just absolutely absurd. 866-391-1020. Back with more in a moment.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve your Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks at the Rockies last night. They lost 4-3. Two teams again tonight. 9-10 first pitch on 93.7 The Fan. The United States secured its spot in the World Cup knockout rounds after defeating Australia 2-0, clinching first place in Group D thanks to Paraguay's 1-0 victory over Turkey. They will play their final group stage match against Turkey on June 25th at SoFi Stadium at 10 p.m. Eastern. Riverhounds take on the Hartford Athletic tonight at the U.S. Open with a 4-shot lead through 2 rounds. Wyndham Clark is at 7 under. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. One of our guiding principles is to provide great beds at a great value. Our goal is to prove this to our customers every single day. We believe in producing quality mattresses in our factory and selling them directly to you, eliminating the middleman markup. You can rest easy knowing that you're getting a hand-built mattress at a real value. Stop by a location near you. We're confident that you'll be able to see and feel the OMF difference for yourself. Learn more at originalmattress.com.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series at Heinz Hall, presented by University of Pittsburgh, announces its 26-27 season. 7 evenings to deepen your understanding of the world around you, featuring Anderson Cooper, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, financial journalist Andrew Ross Sorkin, former NASA Administrator Charles Bolden, and the former U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
When you think of America, over the last 50 years, everything that happened the 200 years before that, we have really destroyed. But the thing that we have lost is that work ethic, the physical labor, the back-breaking work, the sweat on our brow that built America. We have let technology, what really worries me, everybody is so concerned about artificial intelligence, GPT, and all these things we hear are going to take over the world and robots will be doing everybody's job. Well, if robots end up doing everybody's job, it's because you let them get into the picture. If we would have been working over the last 50 years and if the manufacturing base wouldn't have left, yeah, robots would have eventually become a part of who we are. But they would have been working next to us as opposed to taking our job. Because if you have a company and you have to get a product out and you have to get a project done, if it is a robot that will do it because you can't find the workforce, remember, it comes down to the bottom line. 866-391-1020. Joe Mount Oliver with your Pratt Pack, KDK. Hey, Joe.
Well, there's a myriad of reasons, but basically it's we got too much money in politics. Okay, you got a top-heavy country, and that's been for a long, long time. Don't forget you had Reagan for 2 terms. Okay, he gave corporations, multinational corporations, tax breaks to move jobs out of the United States. Okay, it's because people are too busy to be informed. They cut social studies programs out of high schools. I mean, would you want, after working all day, would you want to fight the traffic in Oakland, try to find the parking spots to go to a school board meeting? I really don't. I don't have the energy anymore. Okay? Simple as that. There's a lot of reasons, but what broke my heart was Schwarbel's going out of business. Now, there got to be some way, if there's a God in heaven, that we can make these people profitable in the city of Pittsburgh. And if we don't, there's something wrong with everybody that's involved in this time. That is a great loaf of bread, all right? And if they can't make a profit, I want to know why, all right? Period. Case closed. Thank you, Rob.
All right, Joe, thanks. Here's Bishop in Denora. Hey, Bishop, how are you? Good morning. Welcome to KDKA.
I'm going to give you, personally, I'm going to give you some good news. Listen, I knew you would be it, and you should be it, like a lot of us. $300 billion to build our land, that's sickening. You know, and American people are going to be on the hook on it. You know, that's what I'm saying. There's money that could be helping some of these cities, like Pittsburgh, $22 million in debt. That's a drop in the hat. But you want to give Iran $300 billion to rebuild? Are you kidding me? That's horrible, Mr. Pratt. The New York Times said that he lost that war. It's shameful. And then when you talk about the homeless, it's everywhere. I was just up in Harrisburg, and my God, in the city of Harrisburg, they are just loaded, sleeping on church steps, streets, the whole 9 yards. And something has to be done across America about that. But here's the good news, Mr. Pratt, and hopefully maybe you can ask your bosses at KDKA to do an on-site location broadcast in the borough of Denora. Our First Lady and Councilwoman Deanne Falco got grant money, and our park, Palmer Park, is a beautiful park, and we just got a beautiful stage, lights, you name it. We're going to have a movie at the park where we're going to have a big screen TV where the kids and parents can come and watch movies. Our parks program, which I'm proud to say I'm the chairman of the Park and Recreation for the Council of Denora. We're doing some amazing things in Denora, Mr. Pratt. The council members are working hard to make Denora and try to bring Denora back. But if you come to this beautiful Palmer Park, they're having a cigar festival today, and some of the improvements have already been made as far as the stage and the whole 9 yards at the park, the walking trail, the whole 9 yards. Mr. Pratt, we're inviting you to come, and I'm sure the mayor wouldn't mind either, to come to Denora and do an on-site broadcast, a morning show or something like that. You would love it, Mr. Pratt, and we'll treat you well. We'll treat you first class.
Well, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would.
Denora's on the move, Mr. Pratt.
All right.
Have a good morning.
All right, buddy. You too. Listen, you understand what Denora was like back in the day, what Menneson was like, Duquesne was like, Ambridge, Aliquippa, Washington, PA. A lot of these places are doing much better than any of us anticipated because of some really hard work by my generation and those who came after me. But don't you realize what we've had in the way of decline? Look, I'm embracing 250. I can't wait for this celebration because it's the bucket list, and I know it's the grand finale. It's like the last blast of the Zambelli fireworks. I won't be here for 250. But in 1976, when I was 18 looking towards the future, I kind of penciled this in. And I thought about where the country would be. And I'm going to talk about it after the break. What I expected to be in the United States of America if I was fortunate enough to survive for the next 50 years. Well, I was fortunate enough. Even if I fall up short between now and July 4th, I did make it to 250. And I'm not pleased. And I must tell you, that 18-year-old man who believed in everything, in romance and success and this country and loyalty and patriotism. And along the way, they just kept sticking a needle in every one of those balloons. But I still have hope. I still have to be hopeful. I still have to try to help. But when you do things and you promote good and right away people are being negative, like honestly, I thought we would go into this war and finally end the tyranny of this regime to save the people of Iran, people in the Middle East, people around the world, and in the end, the aftermath, give us a chance to actually reap the benefits when it came to money. It came to being able to afford to live in America. But we haven't. So once again, we snatch hope from hope to hopelessness. And to me, that's a tragedy after everything this country has gone through in the last 250 years. I'm going to explain to you why the last 50 have been detrimental. And if we don't change it over the next 50, God help our great country. 866-391-1020. Love to hear from you. Open talk until 7 o'clock this morning with your Pratt Pack KDKA.
At Easy Cater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With Easy Cater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Hello, this is Lester Botkin, Chief Investment Officer of Botkin Family Wealth Management, where I work with my dad, Les, and my sister, Sarah. We recently got a card in the mail from a person we don't know telling us how much she loves the American flags flying outside our office. It meant a lot to us. We lined the road in front of our building with flags to mark patriotic holidays, and last year we installed a towering flagpole with both the American and Marine Corps flags waving proudly, as I served 5 years in the Marines before returning to school to study economics. We honor America because we love America, and we're grateful for the opportunities she provides. The day we opened the doors to our family business was one of the best of my life. Our American workplace encourages and rewards risk-taking, innovation, and hard work. We feel lucky to work with people who've prospered in a country that helped them achieve personal and financial success. We don't take the privilege of living here for granted, and we are proud to be Americans. Visit us at botkinfamilywealth.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Join Rob Pratt every Sunday at 11 a.m. for Black and Gold Sunday, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer. Rob keeps you posted on Pittsburgh sports with 2 hours of exciting talk. That's Black and Gold Sunday, 11 to 1, presented each week by Coons Market.
Colin Dunlap on KDKA.
There's a trillionaire, apparently. How does it go? It goes millionaire, billionaire, chamillionaire, and then trillionaire, right? I think that's how it goes. But anyway, there's about to be a trillionaire.
Weekdays 2 to 6 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. The FBI offers a $25,000 reward for an arrest in Kansas City interstate shootings. Police say Oscar Sanchez Munoz shot 5 people, killing 1, injuring 4 others. They're looking for him, but so far no arrest. Flash flooding emergencies continue across parts of the South after violent storms. A shouting match at the UN over accusations that Israeli soldiers and settlers have committed sexual violence against Palestinians. Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon and United Nations Special Representative Vanessa Frazier.
It should not be personal.
You part of the bullying.
I have a point of order.
Shame on you.
I have a point of order.
Arguing at a meeting yesterday, just weeks after the UN added Israel to a list of countries suspected of committing sexual violence in war zones. Federal judges rejected former President Biden's attempt to block the Trump administration from releasing to a conservative group recordings that Biden made with a ghostwriter. This is ABC News.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments,
Grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There will be a mix of sun and clouds and a breeze today with an afternoon and evening thunder shower. The high will be 76. Otherwise, clear to partly cloudy tonight with a low of 56. Then for Father's Day, expect more clouds than sun, high 78. And on Monday, humid and cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 73. For AccuWeather, I'm Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hi, this is Larry Richert. Join us Monday on the Big K Morning Show, 5:30 until 10. Lenny McAllister will join me in our 8 o'clock hour. Plus, our first full week of summer. What can you do in the Berg? We'll tell you.
All right, so let's take a look at that timeline. Where were you 1976? If you were like me, you were just starting to think about the next step. High school, rearview mirror, now what do I do? And in the back of my mind, I always thought, I have something to fall back on. I can get a job in the mill. If my dreams of being a broadcaster, becoming an entertainer fall short, there's always that backup plan. Like my friends, you go to the mill, you go buy a new car, you kind of cruise the neighborhood, you find someone to date, you eventually get married, you have a home, you stake claim in that community, that 10 to 20 miles from where you were born is where you live, and you have a life, and you create memories because you have that paycheck. So this is 1976. There wasn't any rumblings of the mills going away. And in every community that I knew in Beaver County, which was basically the land that I lived within Beaver County, ventured to Pittsburgh, semi-regular, but other than that, I never visited Pittsburgh. I never went to Ohio. I never went to West Virginia. The only time I went to Ohio was my family went on vacation to Lake Erie. So Beaver County was all I knew. But I thought I didn't need anything else because every town had a main street. Every town either had a glass factory, a steel mill, or something connected to manufacturing. And we had the mighty railroad in Conway Yards, the largest push-button railroad in the world. It was Conrail, where a lot of my friends ended up going to work. And yeah, many of them actually, even when the mills went away, held on to their job and retired from there. And then there was the other thing, the airlines, the airport, U.S. Air. So it was good. And you had shopping malls that were thriving. It was the dawn of that new shopping experience, right? But Main Street was still alive because of the mail gate at the end of Main Street. So what happens? We celebrate. We have the tall ships, the long ships, whatever you want to call them. Everybody's looking. Everybody's watching. Symphonies playing. And we're celebrating America's 200th birthday since the Founding Fathers signed on the dotted line. And then 1980 came. And there started to be rumblings about, well, they're going to shut down. And you had that guard, meaning that 30-year-old worker, that 20-year-old worker, meaning years that they had spent at the mill, saying it'll never happen as they're enjoying their bumping a beer at the local bar outside the mill gate. It's hogwash, don't believe it. They need us. Well, they didn't. And also, we had a gentleman who we all knew from television and the movies become the President of the United States of America, one Ronald Reagan, talking about if you are better off today than you were 4 years ago, don't vote for me. Well, listen, you had double-digit inflation, gas rationing, you had the early signs of manufacturing closing, you had oil embargo after oil embargo because we let this lunatic, Ayatollah Khomeini, Iran, come to power. It was supposedly the end of the Cold War, which never ended. Fidel Castro never became a friend from Cuba. So all of this stuff started to happen. And then Reaganomics was going to save the world. But little did we know, and a gentleman brought it up earlier today, Joe from Mount Oliver, Ronald Reagan secretly sold out America. He cut massive deals with corporations to move their jobs out of the country. He fired the traffic controllers that worked at airports throughout this country. And in a roundabout way, was responsible for the end of the steel industry. Has nothing to do with being a Republican or a Democrat. But smack dab on the heels of all of this, 10 years earlier, Richard Nixon made America realize that our president at times could be human and make mistakes. But instead of giving the next person, Gerald Ford, who just because he decided to give his guy a full, clear pardon, which whether it was right or wrong, he did it. And Nixon really only responsible for the missing part of the tape. He didn't greenlight it. He didn't go do it. He wasn't a part of it. He just got caught up in the cover-up. So probably would have had a slap on the wrist anyway, but they held that against Ford because people and their blood was boiling so bad because of what Richard Nixon did. So once again, throughout it all, going into the Reagan administration, we never got out of the way of our own selves. And then Ronald Reagan, like he did so many times on that show, Death Valley Days, rode off into the sunset. After 8 years, and in the last 3 years of that second term, ate more jelly beans and took more naps than he did anything else. And he, too, had the Iran-Contra scandal. Iran, once again, Oliver North, who basically was the fall guy. And we got an opportunity shortly thereafter, after his vice president had one term, a noble politician and a true patriot, George Herbert Walker Bush, came in this bright light from Arkansas. A guy who was a great communicator, joined the Peace Corps because of his love of JFK, was a mirror image of him. He was young. He was full of energy. He and his wife, Hillary Clinton, gave that next generation their rendition of Camelot. And a funny thing happened on the way to the Clinton administration. We get an opportunity to snatch victory from the hands of defeat. As the mills are spiraling out of control, manufacturing comes to an all-time low in America. This little thing started in a place called Silicon Valley out on the West Coast in the state of Washington. And you had names like Jobs and Gates and Wozniak, and names like Apple and Microsoft started popping up. And people were spending as much as $300 a share on a .com stock that had no mailing address. But it got cash flow going. It jump-started our economy. Those jobs in technology started to spread across the country, and they became the blue-collar jobs. They replaced the steel jobs, the coal mining jobs, the oil industry jobs. And the next thing you know, old Bill Clinton, that young man from Arkansas, we had a balanced budget. And we had a surplus, and he created tens of millions of jobs. And our country was firing on all cylinders again. And we started to have the early onside of terrorism. You may remember during his administration, the World Trade Centers were bombed the very first time. And then we would just continue to spiral out of control with people like Timothy McVeigh and the Muro Federal Building in Oklahoma City. And things started to get really shaky again. And because of this affair with Monica Lewinsky, once again, how dare he, as wrong as it is, the human element, sometimes people forget what we point fingers at, 1,000 fingers are being pointed back at us. So we started this whole impeachment process. And once again, we had a crack or a chink in the armor of the presidency of the United States. So what did we do? Multimedia at that time realized that this type of stuff sold. Nobody wanted to watch Andy Griffin anymore or Dick Van Dyke or Mayberry. They wanted to see this stuff unfold in front of their very eyes, and they wanted to see powerful people, even if it was the President of the United States, shamed and brought to their knees. Why? Because many of them I call it the school teacher principle. When teachers were making $6,000 a year and people were working in the mills in the 70s and 80s making $60,000 compared to what it would be today, like $200,000, great benefits and a pension, they never said a word. But once the shoe was on the other foot and teachers started to make money because of, well, the price of public education and everything that was headed in a different direction, they were bad. They only worked 9 months out of the year. But then it started to happen to other people who were in good positions, like a young, energetic Bill Clinton who made a horrific mistake, but his wife basically accepted what happened, and they decided to move forward, which they are still married to this day. It began to disintegrate America again. And we'll continue on the other side of the break how this process has never stopped. It has never stopped. And what Bill Clinton did, whether any of you want to admit it, forget Monica Lewinsky and all the other scandals and wannabes and possibilities connected to him and his wife, the former First Lady. We are still upright as a nation today because of the technology that was created during his administration. Now, it might have just been luck of the draw, right place, right time, stars align, who knows? But because of those jobs with Microsoft and Apple and all those companies that eventually would evolve into places like Meta, Facebook, Google, and more, we still have a solid and solvent country. But sadly, the infrastructure is disintegrating in front of our very eyes. And sadly, more people want to talk about Bill Gates now because of a couple of meetings or conversations with Jeffrey Epstein, as opposed to what he's trying to say, the man who gave us Microsoft. We have to rewire America within the next 50 years or it will be lights out. So that gets us to like the 90s. And one would think it's going to get better. America's going to turn itself around because now we have a balanced budget. We have a cash flow. But instead of adding to that cash reserve and slowing down the spending of what was a cash flow, and as opposed to spending money and rebuilding our infrastructure, roads and bridges that are collapsing in front of our very eyes now because they should have been repaired 30 years ago, we just were like a bunch of drunken sailors because we had a little money in our pocket. We just wanted to go out on the town. Not 2 or 3 times a week, but every single night, morning, noon, and night. And eventually we found ourselves heading to the new century, Y2K, and it's going to get better because the possibilities are tremendous. Well, hold the phone, because when I come back, I'm going to explain to you how this trend continued to go downward. Look, nobody likes to go through this, but you have to. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And we have another pocket of opportunity as we get ready to begin 251 and beyond. If we don't seize the moment like we didn't back in 1976 and let things slip away into the early 80s, we are doomed. But unless you understand what I'm telling you, you'll never get it. Because now is the time for us to rise to the occasion, take the opportunities that really are in front of us every day and turn it into a game changer. I'll explain all of it when we get back. Just a couple of moments. Your Pratt Pack Saturday morning, KDKA.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com.
News Radio, KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks at the Rockies last night. They lost 4-3. 2 teams again tonight. 9-10 first pitch on 93.7 The Fan. The United States secured its spot in the World Cup knockout rounds after defeating Australia 2-0, clinching first place in Group D thanks to Paraguay's 1-0 victory over Turkey. They will play their final group stage match against Turkey on June 25th at SoFi Stadium at 10 p.m. Eastern. Riverhounds take on the Hartford Athletic tonight at the U.S. Open with a 4-shot lead through 2 rounds. Wyndham Clark is at 7 under. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
In Pittsburgh, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 25 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Pittsburgh. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Tickets for Kids will host the Dress Big Happy Hour on Wednesday, July 22nd from 4 to 7 p.m. in the Casamigos Club at PPG Paints Arena. Join sports celebrities and TFK's friends from the ticketing, nonprofit, corporate, and foundation communities for a silent auction, hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar, and the chance to play carnival games on the arena floor. For tickets, go to the events link at ticketsforkids.org.
Life's best moments start with perfect choices. For Connie Nowak, it was a trolley ride and a 67-year love story. A life of family, smart decisions, and companionship with Chester the cat. Her retirement choice? The Village at St. Barnabas. Recreation, healthcare, close to family, everything on her list. Plus, it's an exceptional retirement value with a flexible entry process and affordable rates. St. Barnabas Retirement Communities, stbarnabascommunities.com, or call 724-444-5568.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Easy Cater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. Like that morning status meeting, always better with bagels. And don't forget the coffee. Ops team working late? How about some power bowls to keep them going strong? Sandy's celebrating 10 years at the company. This calls for cupcakes. With Easy Cater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Retirement, it's almost here. Are you ready? Well, join Kurt Kanodik and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group for your retirement blueprint. Let Kurt and Ethan help you plan for your retirement dreams. Don't miss your retirement blueprint, Sundays at 10. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to remind you, we'll be with you right through next week. A couple of guests that we have lined up for next week I think you'll find fascinating. We're going to have Jason Ritchie, who's the Lieutenant Governor nominee, head of the Republican Party in Allegheny County. And I'm going to start talking to him directly about how I expect him and Stacey Garrity to kind of lead the way when it comes to talking about energy, natural gas, and making things happen in Pennsylvania. And then on Tuesday night, we've got State Senator Kim Ward. The feet will be held to the fire with her as well. And I'm going to ask her, so why are energy prices, especially electricity prices, going up? What's the real reason for it? And one of the reasons people are afraid of it going up are these data centers. And I keep saying, this is the future. We're stuck in neutral if we don't at least take a giant leap into the future with these data centers and the $15 billion that's going to go to Homer City, then things will never get better. It's the definition of insanity if you keep doing the same thing over and over. And we've been doing it for the last 50 years. So State Representative Jim Strucy will be with us on Tuesday night. So we have a lot of great stuff planned. We're going to continue to do these timeline things as we get ready to celebrate 250. So we come to Y2K. And I had a person in my life who is much smarter than me, but at the time, she was worried about the world coming to an end. So I had masks and extra batteries and flashlights. My garage turned into a warehouse. But when you care about people, you do whatever you need to do. I was so caught up in my career, 5 television shows, working morning, noon, and night, on the road, in Ohio, West Virginia. I'll do whatever she wants, but maybe if the world would come to an end, it might be a good thing because I could actually get some rest. But it didn't. It went from partying like 1999, the ball dropped, it was 2000, and the lights were on, okay? And I had a garage full of sterile masks that they use in surgery that we all got to know during COVID, bunch of batteries, flashlights, bottled water, and stuff that I'm sure is still sitting there to this day. But then hanging chads, and I remember being on the air saying, now this is another very bad sign. We have had every election at that level for the presidency of the United States since Gore and George W. Bush, and that night on the air in which we were clinging on to every single hanging chad, we've never had a clear-cut winner. There's always somebody making excuses. 4 years later, people still saying the election was stolen. So people start to believe it, and the next thing you know, we lose our belief in our democracy when it comes to your privilege to vote. So much so, they try to use the weather as an example. They try to blame it on everything, even if it's a leap year. Doesn't matter, the color of someone's suit. People don't vote anymore. Absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, they try to stir the pot any way they can. So once again, in that 50-year time span, 76 to 2026, we hit speed bump after speed bump, and then a pothole, and then trying to cross one side to the other over some large body of water. There is no bridge. So what happens? Instead of being able to go into the future, we are stuck in the present. That's where we are in America. But it doesn't get any better. Why? Because our infrastructure starts to fall, and it begins to collapse. And then we have another bright light after George W. Bush truly got us to that bright light through the darkest time in our country's history, when we let some ragtag terrorists take 2 jet airlines and crash them into the World Trade Center, killing thousands in front of our very eyes. But it was one George W. Bush who showed us the way. And he got us to that bright light, and Barack Obama came in, a great orator, maybe the best since JFK, and we started to hire people. The economy started turning around. He was youthful. He was energetic, as was his incredible wife, Michelle Obama, their children. We all wanted to believe in hope again. And then he leaves. And then all of a sudden, we're now dealing with Donald Trump, the mouth that roared. When everybody said he doesn't have a chance, why is he doing this? He's used his own money. He's not paying for advertising. He goes to social media. He stirs the pot. And all of a sudden, pokes the bear enough in Washington to where he is now the hunter. And the swamps will be drained. But literally moments after he gives his inauguration speech on that podium, a travel ban is the first thing as far as executive order. They start pounding down on him. You're not a politician. It doesn't work this way. You can't start doing things that quickly before the dust settles. You understand there's the honeymoon period. You got to get to know us. You got a glad hand. We got to get together. We have to reach across the political aisle. We have to have a couple of dinners before we really start doing anything. And he's like, forget that. I don't have much time as it is. I want to get going now. But then a funny thing happened on the way to him actually succeeding. His skin wasn't that thick, and he reverted into the boardroom chairman, that alley backstreet fighting with laborer and politicians and everybody alike to achieve his goals, which were many in real estate, in gaming, reality TV. There wasn't anything he didn't touch that wasn't the Midas touch. But because of who he was and how he knew how to fight back, he could not negotiate because his thought process was attack, 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 and they pulled him right in and nothing got done. And then obviously January 6th, he's out of office. Now he's back in. Tariffs and Doge and Elon Musk, the world is great. He's going to get us to the promised land. And now he takes us to epic fury to end this tyranny of this government that started it all back in 1979. Over that 50-year stretch, we have a chance to right the ship, and all of a sudden, the midterms show up. Pump the brakes, back away, just walk away. So now here we are, 50 years later. That's your timeline, and we're right back where we started. Gas prices, too expensive, the economy spiraling out of control, and the love of this nation is nowhere where it needs to be as we celebrate 250. You can't go back, but what you can do in the present and move forward can change the course of history. Let's just see if we have the courage. All right, stay with us. David Ballarado, local news, and then One Health Benefits. Stay with us.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwyck Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
At Habitat for Humanity, we believe home is where you find peace, stability, and safety. But 1 in 3 people on Earth woke up today without a good home. Let's open the door to opportunity. Visit Habitat.org to learn more. That's Habitat.org.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 62 degrees at 7 o'clock. I'm David Ballarado. Market Square, the site of a large group that had to be dispersed by police last night. KDKA-TV says police told their crews on the scene that several fights involving juveniles had to be broken up and 3 guns were recovered. 2 in Market Square, 1 nearby. No word of any arrests or injuries. McKees Rocks police are warning residents about the dangers of youth takeovers at abandoned properties there. On Facebook, the department says they have had several recent gatherings of 30 to 50 teens at a number of different vacant properties. Police say most of those properties have been condemned and are unsafe for people to be inside, and trespassing is illegal regardless. The department is asking groups who want to gather to get a permit for one of their parks. Juneteenth festivities will continue in downtown Pittsburgh this weekend. Promoter B. Marshall telling KDKA-TV.
So it's been hectic, but we're making it happen. So last year they said we had over 75,000 people for Juneteenth celebration. We are now the biggest celebration in Pennsylvania and maybe one of the biggest in the country. We're excited to be back downtown.
Activities include musical performances in Market Square and Point State Park today. A ceasefire in Lebanon is a key part of Iran's agreement with the United States to end the months-long war that has tied up shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, contributing to the spike in gas prices and costs overall around the world. But as ABC Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce explains, Israel has not agreed to that, and it has impacted negotiations.
Vice President J.D. Vance was expected to be in Switzerland to kick off the next phase of talks to determine the future of Iran's nuclear program. But before he could leave, Iran postponing because Israel was still trading attacks with Hezbollah in Lebanon. Vance has taken a strikingly harsh tone towards Israel.
You're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have.
Israel wasn't included in that deal.
Time is up for TikTok, Florida's top prosecutor said as he announced a lawsuit against the tech giant. Attorney General James Othmeyer tells ABC News that he plans to hold TikTok accountable by making the organization implement changes to prevent children from having unbridled access to online content.
These companies make billions and billions and billions of dollars. They're going to choose profit over public safety unless we make it hurt. So we're going to tell them, fix your app, protect kids, or it's going to be expensive here in Florida and around the world.
Florida law bans children under the age of 14 from all social media platforms. A Hollywood TV legend has passed away. James Burrows was a name seen in the credits of many television sitcoms. He got his start directing episodes of The Mary Tyler Moore Show and kept on going well into the millennium. Here's ABC's Whit Johnson with a look back on James Burrows' long career.
James Burrows directing more than 1,000 TV episodes. Give us any chance, we'll take it. From Laverne and Shirley to Taxi, the co-creator of pop culture classics like Cheers, the 11-time Emmy winner directing The Big Bang Theory, and every episode of Will and Grace during its original run. James Burrows was 85.
KDKA Sports, it was a disappointing night for the Bucks. Rob Pratt will have a sports update coming up for you at 7:15. Right now it's 62 degrees in Pittsburgh. Our next update's at 7:30. I'm David Ballarano on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
From weddings to office events, let Jimmy Wands handle the menu. Enjoy full-service catering, takeout, or free delivery for your next big celebration. Bold flavors and deliciously convenient options from their family to yours. Jimmy Wands Restaurant and Lounge.
It's back in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. Rock, Reggae, and Relief returns Saturday, August 8th, featuring UB40, Allie Campbell, G-Love, and more. Enjoy summer vibes while supporting Cafe Momentum. Get your tickets today at rockreggaerelief.com. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at kdkaradio.com.
Planning for retirement isn't easy. If you don't know where to start, join Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors every Saturday at 1 for the Net Worth Financial Hour. Beth shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 1 to the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors. Net Worth Advisors, LLC, is a registered investment advisor.
Don't delay in getting that plumbing repair done. Call Palucci Plumbing today for all of your plumbing needs. From trenchless sewer repair and waterline repairs and replacement, hot water tanks, sewer camera inspections, to Pittsburgh potty repairs, no job is too small for Palucci Plumbing. Owners Amy and Nick Palucci have been in business for 26 years, so give them a call for your next plumbing repair or replacement. Palucci Plumbing, 412-782-5050. That's 412-782-5050.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mirafiber gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mirafiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
It'll be breezy and partly sunny today with an afternoon and evening thunder shower, high 76, then clear to partly cloudy tonight with a low of 56. Tomorrow, expect more clouds than sun with a high of 73, and on Monday, cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 73. For AccuWeather, I'm Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by One Health Benefits. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. KDKA Radio does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, my favorite, the 1-2 punch to help you win when it comes to your health care coverage. Michael Coleman, Dina Schmidt, One Health Benefits, onehealthbenefits.com, 724-799-8873. That's their number, but I'm giving you my number right now where you can call and get all of your health care related questions answered in real time on this Saturday morning. All you need to do is call 866-391-1020. And believe it or not, this is a very important time of year as we get ready before you know it to get back into the whole enrollment season that will begin in October, and then it will start up again in January of 2027. But now you do your due diligence. Now you cross your T's, you dot your I's, you set up an appointment with Dina and Michael where there is never a charge for their services, and you map out a plan. So without further ado, let's get them back on the show. And we begin with my longtime friend, Dina Schmidt. Dina, we're up and running again, and there is a lot to discuss this Saturday morning.
Good morning, Pittsburgh. It's so wonderful to be back. I love having the show. It's part of my favorite thing to do is to have the show and be able to educate people. Please call in. I absolutely love when I get callers because the questions you all have are questions everybody has. And no question is dumb, as everyone always says. It's not just a cliche. I really would love if some people called in because I know that you're helping others and you're making that call. And it really brings up a great conversation because this is what we're here for. It's real life situations that people come around. You know, it was funny this morning. I came in and I'm like, I'm going to go to ChatGPT and see what's the hottest topics right now about healthcare. And I read it all, and I'm like, I'm not using any of that stuff. None of that is what I talk about with my clients every day. What I talk about my clients every day with is real-life situations, and that's what I want you guys to call in with because that's what helps people. And, I'll talk to you today about some of those because hopefully we can all learn from other people's situations they've gotten themselves in with healthcare. So I welcome people to call today, and I look forward to this show today.
All right, Michael, it's your chance to jump in here right now with an opening statement. But listen, even though we're in the midst of warmer weather and summer, that very first official day is just around the bend. People should always be thinking about their health care because it's that single most important thing they deal with every day, and sometime because of things they don't want to deal with. So it's always better to be prepared. Is that not correct? And good morning.
And good morning to you, and good morning, Pittsburgh. That is absolutely correct. And we would love to answer any questions that you guys have about your health care, or if you're, as Dina said, if you're trying to assist somebody, you have a question, we're here to help you. Please call in and let us know. And we'll be happy to answer those questions. But absolutely, always good to be thinking about your health care, no matter what time of year it is. We do have the enrollment period coming up in October, but this is the time to get those questions answered and get prepared for the new plans for the next year.
Absolutely. And I've put some questions as well together just to kind of give you an overall view of some of the things that I know you're thinking about. But if you're up on this Saturday morning, sitting there having a cup of coffee, maybe getting an early morning workout in, doing some work around the house, or just wiping the sleep from your eyes, and you've been thinking about your health care and wondering about your coverage, Medicare we focus on, but they take care of everything at One Health Benefits. So if you have any kind of health care related question, especially when it comes to your coverage, you need to dial this toll-free number right now while every single line is available and talk to Dina Schmidt and Michael Coleman on this show for a Saturday morning at 866-391-1020. Anything about your health care, we want to talk to you. 866-391-1020. So, Dina, if you will, always that first-time listener, and I hear people all the time say to me, hey, this Dina Schmidt, Michael Coleman, who are they? I like what they have to say. So explain what One Health Benefits is, please.
We are everything healthcare. So not just health insurance, Medicare, under 65, dental, vision, and most importantly, this is the time to focus on ancillary plans. And what do I mean by that is, guys, what is your plan if something happens and you have to take care of yourself? Those are the kind of things I'd like to focus on in the summertime, because we're not as busy focusing on the main event, right, which is just having health insurance. But we also do many things for home health care. I just had a situation where a woman is going crazy because she's disabled and her husband just had a traumatic brain injury. And she's like, well, is my insurance going to cover long-term care? No, it doesn't. Okay. Medicare and insurance, those are things you have to get before you need them. And she's like, but I can't take care of him. And I get that. And I'm like, I mean, it's killing me because there's nothing I can do, because I can't get you a plan once you have the event. You had to get it in advance. But those are some of the things that we are able to offer here at One Health Benefits. I started this company over 25 years ago, and I started it because of a need for individuals to have somewhere to go. You know, these employers have big agencies that they go to, and they give them big presentations with 15 different options, and it's boom, handled. But you lose your job. Nobody had anyone to go to. Or you just are self-employed. How do you navigate this on your own? Or the person getting into Medicare, it's alphabet soup, Plan A, Part B. It's so confusing. And unless you do this for a living, there's no way to wrap yourself around fully understanding all of it. 25 years of experience. I'd much rather have someone advise me at no cost on something they've had 25 years of experience with. And Michael's had same amounts, put it together as 50 years of different situations that him and I can bounce off each other to make sure we help you the best. I think experience is so important. You know, the sidetrack, I went to the eye doctor the other day, and the doctor that built the institute is the one I wanted to see, right? Because he's built the institute. He has so many years of experience. And I got the new guy, and I felt bad. I'm like, no, I don't want the new guy. I want the one who has the experience, because I just see there's so many things that Michael and I have come up with in these 25 years. And I'm not saying there's not new things that come up, but there's so much to be said for bouncing that off each other and being able to assist you, because we've seen that situation before. So to answer your question, Rob, we are full service. We cater. Our MO is you guys are family. We cater to our family. We always do what's right. No questions asked. We don't sell anything. We advise you, and we make sure that you're covered and you're knowledgeable about what you have, because a lot of times you get something and you don't even know the benefits. And if you're not using them, what's it worth, right? So one thing I can say without a doubt, with all the passion I have, is there's no one who does customer service like One Health Benefits, Michael and I.
No doubt. The primary goal is to help you. They're precision at getting it done, and no one has more passion. So what you need to do, if you want to set up an appointment with them to review your current benefits in whatever situation you're dealing with when it comes to health care, you can do it by calling 724-799-8873, onehealthbenefits.com, 724-799-8873. And our number for any health care related question, especially if you've got something that has kept you up at night, you're dealing with some sort of critical issue. And what we also like to do is the caregiver out there, the significant other, the friend, someone who needs some answers for someone they care about. We can handle that too. So don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. All of our lines are open. Call now. Healthcare related questions. We've got Dina Schmidt, Michael Coleman, One Health Benefits, their monthly visit, 866-391-1020. And when we come back, some of the main Medicare and coverage questions and why they're so important. That's next on KDKA. Good morning.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks at the Rockies last night. They lost 4-3. Two teams again tonight. 9-10 first pitch on 93.7 The Fan. The United States secured its spot in the World Cup knockout rounds after defeating Australia 2-0, clinching first place in Group D thanks to Paraguay's 1-0 victory over Turkey. They will play their final group stage match against Turkey on June 25th at SoFi Stadium at 10 p.m. Eastern. Riverhounds take on the Hartford Athletic tonight at the U.S. Open with a 4-shot lead through 2 rounds. Wyndham Clark is at 7 under. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. This special offer is only available by calling 800-208-8750. That's 800-208-8750.
Paid for by Bath Concepts Industries.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Here's a World Soccer Championship Team Spotlight, brought to you by the first ever Infiniti QX65 and by Lowe's. Give your yard its own moment with the new limited time deals from Lowe's.
France is loaded with attacking firepower, headlined by a lightning-fast forward who's been the best player on the planet for years. Les Bleus' combination of individual brilliance and collective discipline makes them perpetual contenders.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings with 3 rooms cleaned starting at $139 and $599 per system for air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResPGH.com and ask for the KDKA special.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I know Dina and Michael have a lot to get to, and I'm going to chime in from time to time, but I want to remind you their number to set up that appointment, never a charge for their services, 724-799-8873, onehealthbenefits.com, 724-799-8873. And again, any health care related question, now's the time to call us while the lines are available. They always seem to pick up later in the show, so don't get left out. 866-391-1020. Dina, Michael, some of the basic questions that we talk about, just to kind of give people an idea. Just when you think you've figured it out, you may not really know that really what could happen unless you get a hold of One Health Benefits and Dina and Michael. Now, a lot of people think that all of their prescriptions, because they have that card, is covered. That's not necessarily so. One thing we do know, if there was ever a roller coaster ride that sometimes isn't as thrilling as you would want it to be, as you climb and then ascend downward, is prescription costs. They change from time to time, meaning day after day after day. So if there's anything you got to be prepared for, Dina and Michael, and Dina, you can take this to start. You have to know exactly what the cost is going to be for you, the consumer, when you go visit your local pharmacist, correct?
Exactly. So, one thing we educate our clients on is using your insurance isn't always the best way to get a prescription. You have to be very diligent and know what's available. So I was actually doing it this morning, and I'll be very frank. I'm very transparent because I know I'm resonating with many women out there. But women who are on BHRT, and the guys are probably going, what is that? But every woman out there over 50 knows what BHRT is, and that's bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. That's not covered by any insurance. And yes, it makes no sense because we all go through it once you're, at a certain age. Women go through menopause, but those hormones are not covered. And I was on GoodRx this morning because I'm trying to find the best price to get my hormones. So it's not always, and we educate you. So that's one thing. Our clients call all the time, like, Dina, really, they're not covering my hormones? Yeah, exactly. I know it's crazy, but no. So if you're on bioidentical hormones, that's all on you. So you need to know where else can I get, how can I find the best price? Well, there are tools out there like GoodRx, and now Trump has a tool too where you can go on and price things. Amazon has a pharmacy. So that's one thing we educate you on is we know all the tricks and all the ways to find the best price for things, because pharmacy, there's some really good drugs that are out that are new, and that's the biggest driver of increase in insurance. So you see your premiums going up. 10 years ago, we didn't have Wegovy, we didn't have Jardiance, we didn't have all these drugs that are really helping people. Xarelto. I mean, you used to be on warfarin where you had to test your liver all the time because it was had so many side effects. Now we have all these latest, greatest drugs, but guess what? The manufacturers need to make money from all the research and development on these drugs. So they're super expensive. The good thing is they're available. Can we afford them? Mm-hmm. So, Michael, I'll let you talk about, I think from what I've seen, Michael, you tell me if you agree. I think since the Trump came out with having that max on the out-of-pocket for prescriptions in Medicare, I think it's been much better for people. And tell them to explain to our clients about the PPP program, because I'm pretty shocked. We have thousands of clients. I don't think I have anyone on the PPP program. Do you?
Well, I do have a couple because they have some really, really expensive medications, but it gives them the opportunity to spread that out over the entire year versus having to come out of pocket the first month with that. I have a client.
Explain what that is, what it stands for, and what it is.
So it's actually the MP3 program, Medicare Prescription Payment Plan, and it is offered by every drug company out there. They have to offer it to you. And it basically, what it will do is it will spread out your payments for the entire year for your drug versus you having to come out of pocket, $1,000 or $1,500 the first month. There are drugs out there that do cost that much, and unfortunately, it's a big dent in your pocket if you're having to pay that all at once. But the insurance companies allow you to spread that out over the year, and thank God for the cap on the drugs now. These people. I have, again, a client yesterday that has a drug that he's paying $1,500 the first month, but the rest of the year it's free or it's zero cost because of the cap on the drug. So very, very big this year, especially for those who take medications that aren't generic or don't have a generic and have a very big price tag. It is a relief to them. We've seen people in the past pay thousands for drugs, and now the government has limited that amount to, I believe it's $2,100 this year. So, nobody on Medicare will ever pay more than that in a year for their medications. But the PPP program for, drugs really, really helps our clients, spread that out and doesn't put such a big dent in their wallet. Do you agree?
So, yeah. So at least it's kind of like, to me, it reminds me of, you remember back in the 60s and 70s, I'm showing my age here, but Rob, do you remember the layaway program?
Yeah, absolutely.
My mom used to take me to GB's.
Yep.
Do you remember GB's?
Yeah, I do.
And I'd get, I went to Catholic school and I had to have a white shirt. So we'd put my white shirts on layaway, and, it kind of reminds me of like layaway, that you get the product and you are able to price it out throughout the year. But the good thing is, guys, there's a maximum out of pocket. 3 years ago, they didn't have that. So like my dad is on so many meds. He has Parkinson's. His prescriptions were over $8,000 a year.
Oh.
Whenever Trump came out with this maximum out of pocket for prescriptions, my dad was like, "Are you kidding me? My out of pocket's $2,000." That's $6,000 a year for someone on a fixed income.
That's a lot of money. Listen, I got to get to a break, but I want to remind everyone, set up that appointment. Never a charge for their services. 724-799-8873. 724-799-8873. OneHealthBenefits.com. And if you have a question, call us, 866-391-1020. We have lots more still to come before the top of the hour, but we're just 2 minutes away from the news at 7:30 with your Pratt Pack this morning, along with Dina Schmidt, Michael Coleman, One Health Benefits, OneHealthBenefits.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand, so shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Curb appeal. That's a real estate catchphrase when they want you to know a home looks really beautiful from the outside. You want the same thing anyway. Hi, this is Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters, which, by the way, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. You're dealing with the owners. Now, there's no reason to procrastinate. All you have to do is get the professionals to do the job right from the start. And all you need to do is schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much anger these days. You know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at KDKRadio.com. It's where we will find a way to help you.
Presented by UPMC Health System, Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Cousins Roofing, Siding and Decks, and by Harold Shepley and Associates. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 62 degrees at 7:30. I'm David Ballarado. Although the curfew policy remains in effect in Market Square, Pittsburgh police had to break up a large crowd of juveniles that had gathered there overnight. KDKA-TV says several fights had broken out among the crowd of several hundred. No shots were fired, but police reportedly confiscated 2 guns from Market Square and another one nearby. More festivities are on tap today as Pittsburgh continues to observe Juneteenth. That's the federal holiday to commemorate the freeing of the last American slaves in Galveston, Texas, back in 1865. Kevin Johnston told KDKA-TV it's a good way for people to see what they have in common.
Talk to people, get to know people. And when you get to know people, that's how you find out that we're basically all the same. Exactly. We're all the same. We're, all God's children.
There will be concerts in Market Square and Point State Park. 2 people rescued following a single vehicle accident last night in downtown Pittsburgh. This happened around 10:30 near 4th and Grant. The vehicle was flipped on its side when crews arrived, and 2 people had to be pulled from the vehicle. Pittsburgh public safety officials say they were evaluated on the scene and then released. President Trump has unveiled the new Air Force One gifted to him by the government of Qatar. ABC Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce reports.
The Pentagon spent 1 year and hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars to retrofit the plane and make security upgrades. And when Trump leaves office, the plane will leave with him, ownership to be transferred to his presidential library.
This plane was transformed into a flying White House at a level of luxury that nobody's ever seen before.
The president then signing a panel of the plane.
The plane is valued at $400 million. Florida is taking tech giants to court. State Attorney General James Uthmeyer tells ABC News that a new lawsuit aims to force TikTok to overhaul its platform and protect young users from online dangers.
We want to make sure that they're limiting young teenagers and kids from accessing these sites, that they've got proper parental controls in place, that they're doing content moderation sufficiently to identify where child predators are going after kids.
Florida law does ban children under the age of 14 from all social media platforms. What was supposed to be a fun day at an amusement park outside New York City turned into a nightmare for many families. More than a dozen people stuck for hours on a ride at Adventureland on Friday. ABC's Anthony Carlo in East Farmingdale, New York.
Firefighters had to use ladders and harnesses to guide the kids down from the ride. It's called the Wave Twister, manufactured by Res Rides, and it's fairly new, branded the first of its kind in the world with 2 10-passenger spinning gondolas. Riders as small as 36 inches can ride with an adult. Until further review, that ride will not be in service.
Suffolk County Police said no injuries had been reported, but it took hours to rescue the riders between the ages of 5 and 40 years old. KDKA Sports, it looked good for the Bucks last night until late in the game. Rob Pratt has a sports update coming up at 7:45. KDKA Radio News Time, 7:33. It's currently 62 degrees in Pittsburgh. The AccuWeather forecast is next. Our next update is at 8. I'm David Ballarado on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
Sometimes you discover a product that changes your life. I'm talking about Harmony Organic Insect Control. My fear of a flea and tick infestation is over. Nothing is safer, nothing works better than Harmony. End the painful itching and scratching that torments your pet. Spray Harmony on your pets, your clothing, your sofa, curtains, and pillows. Harmony Organic Insect Control also works outside in your garden. Get a case of Harmony. Visit participating True Value hardware stores or online at harmonyoic.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
There will be a mix of sun and clouds and a breeze today with an afternoon and evening thunder shower. The high will be 76. Otherwise, clear to partly cloudy tonight with a low of 56. Then for Father's Day, expect more clouds than sun, high 78. And on Monday, humid and cloudy with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 73. For AccuWeather, I'm Nicole Joniak, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by One Health Benefits.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we are back. Dina Schmidt, Michael Coleman. It's One Health Benefits, onehealthbenefits.com, 724-799-8873. You can call and leave your name and number. They will get back to you. Never a charge for their services, 724-799-8873. And I know it's not that peak time of year, but if you have any question about your health care, now is the time to call us, even if it is Medicare, which right now we're not in that enrollment period, but this is when you do your due diligence. And if you're an employer and you have some health care issues with your company, we too can take your calls, 866-391-1020. One thing, Dina, I've gotten to know about you, and I definitely understand Michael feels the same way. You don't like anybody leaving anything on the table when it comes to benefits. So being that we just finished Memorial Day and we're getting ready to celebrate our birthday 250, everyone thinking about people, the men and women of our military. When it comes to our veterans, many of them, even listening now, may be leaving a lot of good stuff on the table, correct?
Absolutely. So we want to make sure, like I said, it's like you buy a car and you don't know that, oh, I have power this, power that, until you've had it for a year. That's a true story because I do that. But we make sure that you do understand those benefits, and at any time we're available for you to call. And, I can't tell you how many times we've gotten on the phone. Here's one. This is crazy to me that people still do this. I had somebody who had a med supplement plan. And what that means is a med supplement is different than a med advantage. A med supplement, you go anywhere you want. There's no network. And her doctor kept saying to her that they didn't take that carrier. And I'm like, they're actually working in a doctor's office, don't realize it's a med supplement. There is no network. I had to call the doctor for her and get them on the phone to make sure they understood. So those are things that we offer that really set us apart from a big company that has 50 different people working for them that only work a certain time of year, the busy times of year. Michael and I, you will always have. We are here for the long haul, and you will always have us. And you will talk to the same person. That makes things much different. But Michael is a vet. So, Michael, I'm going to let you talk about some great programs that if you're a veteran, you don't want to miss out on these. So, Michael, why don't you explain some of the awesome benefits that veterans have and that they may not know about?
Yeah, absolutely. These are the Medicare Part B give back plans. They provide excellent value for TRICARE beneficiaries and for people who just go to the VA. It is an absolute way to boost your Social Security, adding money back to your Social Security each month, increasing your net income. There's typically no cost for these plans. Obviously, combined with the rebate, makes them high-value options for you. And because TRICARE for Life and the VA cover most deductibles and copays, you don't typically have the need to pay for a premium-heavy Medicare Advantage plan or out-of-pocket expenses like that, making high give-back plans a smart way to minimize your total cost. I can't tell you enough how many veterans I talk to that aren't even aware of those extra benefits that are out there for our veterans. And being a veteran myself, that's, I really like to focus on letting my fellow military personnel understand exactly what benefits are out there for them. It's huge. If you don't know, give us a call. We're happy to educate you and get you those extra benefits and maybe even put a little bit of money back in your pocket.
Yeah. So the reason that happened is, anyone who served our country you shouldn't have to pay for benefits in the country you served. So these plans, the government threw it back at the carriers and said to the carriers, you come up with an option. Instead of us saying, hey, we're just not going to make any veterans pay for Part B, we're going to let it up to you, right? Competition, let it up to the carriers to fight on how they want to do it. So the carriers came up with the Give Back program. And what that was doing is it was giving people money towards Part B. So that's not the only thing. You get a lot of other benefits, but it helps you pay for Part B. So another thing I found that to be very useful for is I have a client who has been on Medicare and decided to go back to work. And he's like, Dina, what do? I have insurance at work now. They're only charging me, it was under $200 a month. Should I cancel B? And I said, you know what? I hate to say this, but I don't want you canceling B because I know how hard it is to get it back. To cancel and get it back, it is not easy. It's a cluster. I don't think it's worth it. I said, but here's what we can do. Why don't we give you a give back plan that covers your Part B, and you can keep your employer insurance because his employer had over 20,000 employees. There are some regulations on if it's a small company, you cannot. But or you cannot have, you have to take their plan. But this was a large employer. So I said, you can then get your Part B taken care of, continue, don't have to worry about pausing Part B. You can continue with what you have, don't have to worry about any of that. Keep your employer insurance. And then, when you leave that job, you already have B in place and we just find you another plan. So those are some unique situations that I think we can help you with. If you think of something that might come up with someone, you are on Medicare and then you decide to go back to work and they offer insurance. What should you do? I don't recommend canceling Part B. Now, it's different in every situation, but most cases we don't. So those Part B give back programs are perfect to have.
All right, so listen, before we get to a break, and hopefully we'll have time to get to some of those success stories, because I really love those success stories, just explain to everyone that at least setting up an appointment can change your life forever. Make them understand if they do nothing after today's show, just set up that appointment, never a charge for your services, and how, Dina, it can be a real game changer. Go ahead.
Well, absolutely, guys. It's over 50 years of experience, and there's no cost to you. So why not? Why not? You have that opportunity to get the experience where you don't get charged for our services. And if you don't like, we're as genuine on the radio in real life as we are on the radio. And hopefully that comes across, that we're genuine and we have passion. And those are things you can't just make up. So hopefully you see that with our shows. And then when you call, I guarantee you we're the same people that you hear on the radio.
Listen, I've been doing this since the mid-'80s at this level, and she's right there as far as passion is concerned and genuine. You get what you hear. So make the call, set up the appointment, never a charge for their services. Michael and Dina, their staff, they would love to talk to you. OneHealthBenefits.com, 724-799-8873, 724-799-8873. We have one more segment and still an opportunity if you have any healthcare-related questions and you want to answer on this Saturday morning in real time. We've got the real answers that you need. All you need to do is to pick up the phone and call us at 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020. It's your Pat Pack. We're here for our Saturday marathon. We'll be here until 1 o'clock today, so I hope you stay with us at KDKA 100.1 FM, AM 1020. Back with Dina Schmidt, Michael Coleman, One Health Benefits in just a couple of moments. Good morning.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Cruz Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you a Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks at the Rockies last night. They lost 4-3. Two teams again tonight. 9-10 first pitch on 93.7 The Fan. The United States secured its spot in the World Cup knockout rounds after defeating Australia 2-0, clinching first place in Group D thanks to Paraguay's 1-0 victory over Turkey. They will play their final group stage match against Turkey on June 25th at SoFi Stadium at 10 p.m. Eastern. Riverhounds take on the Hartford Athletic tonight at the U.S. Open with a 4-shot lead through 2 rounds. Wyndham Clark is at 7 under. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Hey, I'm Sam.
And I'm Calvin, with Cousins Roofing, Siding, and Decks.
Hey, Calvin, you know that feeling when summer's finally on its way? Everybody's outside, grills are going.
Yeah, but that's when you notice what winter did to your home. The deck boards are warped, the roof's missing shingles, the siding's faded.
That's where we come in. No pressure, no surprises. Just good, honest work so you can enjoy the season that you earned.
We're ready when you are. Call the Cousins.
Cousins Roofing, Siding, and Decks. Call the Cousins.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
From weddings to office events, let Jimmy Wands handle the menu. Enjoy full-service catering, takeout, or free delivery for your next big celebration. Bold flavors and deliciously convenient options from their family to yours. Jimmy Wands Restaurant and Lounge.
It's back in the heart of downtown Pittsburgh. Rock, Reggae, and Relief returns Saturday, August 8th, featuring UB40, Allie Campbell, G-Love, and more. Enjoy summer vibes while supporting Cafe Momentum. Get your tickets today at rockreggaerelief.com. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
Pittsburgh, Larry Richard here. Let's go to Paris to cheer on the black and gold. I have your golden ticket through AAA October 21st through the 26th. We're taking over the City of Light. Round-trip flights, a luxury Marriott stay, game tickets, and an epic black and gold kickoff party. Double occupancy packages starting at $7,199. Space is extremely limited. Call 800-354-8761 or visit your local AAA branch now. Here we go to Paris with AAA Travel.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, we are down to our final segment, just about 5 minutes left in the show, so I want to get right back to Dina and Michael to let them take us to the top of the hour. But I want to remind you again, call, set up the appointment. You have everything to gain, nothing to lose. You never pay for their services. 724-799-8873, 724-799-8873, onehealthbenefits.com. Dina, Michael, all yours. Dina, you begin. Go ahead.
Yeah, so give us a call. This is the time, as I said in the beginning, to talk about the things that are important that we get too busy with during annual enrollment to be able to really get into detail with. And those are, what is your plan? Ask yourselves, guys. A Medicare and your health insurance card do not cover things you may think they do. They are not going to hire someone to come in and, you're having cancer treatments. They're not going to pay for someone to help wash your clothes, do your grocery shopping. Those are plans you can get now that are so inexpensive if you get them before you need them. And I get the call all the time. Can you get me that now? I need it now. I can't, and you got to get it in advance. We talk about this every week, and we probably write about 10 of these a week where people call in and they're like, I heard you on the radio. I need that. And, Michael sold one yesterday. The guy, he went through it. The guy called about 3 years ago, but he had a condition then, and the condition went away, and he waited for it to go away, and he called us, and we got him the plan. And he's relieved because now he won't be in a situation to say, who's going to help me? Who's going to pay for this? You could suck all of your savings away. It's called living benefits. Life insurance is not what we need at this age. We need to make sure we're living longer, that we're taken care of because we're not dying. And those expenses are insane to have someone take care of us because we're not dying, because the advancements in technology and prescriptions and medicine, we're not passing when we get a disease. Back in the day, life insurance was so important because we could die early from when you get a disease. But now we're living longer, and we need something to take care of us. So I ask to give us a call. This is the perfect time because we're not dealing with just the insurance, getting the main thing. We're so busy at annual enrollment. But call us now to set that annual enrollment appointment up. If you're not a current client, I advise you even more to call because our current clients will get on the schedule. But if you're not with us now, definitely call us now to get on that schedule for October before we get booked up.
All right, Michael, jump in here, bud. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, again, experience matters. It's so important to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. Look, Dina and I are already starting to do our training for the new plans for the next year with these carriers and through Medicare, through AHIP. We do it every year. We're very well versed. Experience is definitely the key. You want somebody who knows what they're talking about, who asks the right questions, who has your best interest in their minds, and trying to do everything for you, just to make sure that you get what you're deserved.
Dina, one of the things that we talk about time and time again, and sadly, some people listen, some people don't, but when you have the issue or that life-changing, altering healthcare situation that costs thousands, if you don't have the coverage, it's too late. At least know what you have before, God forbid, something does happen. And one thing we know, nobody knows what life is going to bring you, not day to day, second by second. So it's better to have a game plan as opposed to looking for one after the situation. We'll close on that. Go ahead, Dina.
Absolutely. I ask you right now to say to yourself, do you even know what you have? Can you tell me what your deductible is? What is your out-of-pocket, your worst-case scenario? What are you going to do if you lose your spouse, or even if you don't, but you are homebound because you have a bad illness, an accident, something like that? What is your plan?
Good stuff. Dina, Michael, until we talk again next month, always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your weekend, okay, Dina?
Goodbye, Pittsburgh. Thanks, Rob. Look forward to talking to you next month.
All right, there you go. Let me just remind you, don't put it off. I mean, a lot of you have these questions, is my current doctor in network? What will my total out-of-pocket cost be? Is there an out-of-pocket maximum? Does the plan require referrals in prior authorization? What is the Medicare star rating? And do I need dental, vision, or hearing coverage? All of these things you may be thinking right now. If you make the call and set up an appointment where there is never a charge for their services with Michael and Dina at One Health Benefits, you'll know exactly where you stand. So by the time we come back next month with this show, and we'll be down to just weeks before the next enrollment period, you'll know where you're headed. And if you're going to be 65 during this calendar year, you need to make that call more now than ever. It's very simple. You can do it right now. Just leave your first and last name and a working number that they can reach you during business hours throughout the week. It's 724-799-8873, 724-799-8873. One Health onehealthbenefits.com. That's onehealthbenefits.com, 724-799-8873, onehealthbenefits.com. David Bolorado coming up next with that 8 o'clock news, and then it's a best-of edition of Secure Money Advisors on the Money with Brian Caranta and me next on KDKA.
The preceding was paid for by One Health Benefits. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. KDKA Radio does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
I'm doing a porch concert in Morningside today where I'm going to be singing. You want a little? You want a sample?
Yes, let's go.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me.
Perfect Juneteenth song.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
In Pittsburgh, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 25 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Pittsburgh. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Hi, Paul Alexander here to let you know that KDKA has planned a fabulous 5-day Arizona getaway this September, and it's filling up fast. My wife, Shelley, and I want you to join us for an unforgettable trip based in beautiful Flagstaff, a relaxed mountain town that makes the perfect home base. From there, we'll explore the incredible red rocks of Sedona, travel by rail to the breathtaking Grand Canyon, a bucket list spot that everyone needs to see at least once. And then we'll take in the stunning scenery around Lake Powell with its deep blue water and wide open views. It's the perfect mix of sightseeing, natural beauty, and plenty of time to just enjoy where we are. And September is truly the sweet spot. Comfortable weather, no summer crowds, and everything planned for you. No guessing, no stress. Just show up and enjoy Arizona. Space is limited. Seats are disappearing quickly. Visit travelwithkdk.com or call 800-383-3131. Again, travel with KDK.com or call 800-383-3131. Can't wait to see you there.
With multiple Tri-State Neuropathy Centers treatment locations throughout the region, relief from peripheral neuropathy has never been more accessible and successful. Here's Sean Ritchie, founder and DC of Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, with one of his stories from helping over 15,000 patients regain their comfort, mobility, and quality of life.
James from Youngwood suffered for 10 years. He had all the symptoms of neuropathy, the numbness, the pain, the burning, the stabbing, even had these jumpy legs at night. It was destroying his life, and he had to quit his job. After going through our non-invasive treatment program, we were able to get him pain-free, sleeping again. In fact, he told me he went hunting this year and was able to do it without any problem.
Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help James. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000 for an initial free consultation. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy. Learn more at marydanston.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 63 degrees at 8 o'clock. I'm David Bollerado. Police had to break up a large crowd of juveniles last night in Market Square. KDKA-TV reporting that several hundred juveniles had gathered there, and Pittsburgh police had to stop several fights. 2 guns were found in Market Square, another nearby. No word, though, of any arrests. Thousands of people are expected to turn out today for Juneteenth festivities in downtown Pittsburgh.
I would say the support of every nationality under the sun. We come to have fun, to dance, to remember, to celebrate, and to even meet new people.
She spoke to KDKA-TV. There are a number of free concerts on the schedule today in both Market Square and Point State Park. The South Side is also expecting big crowds tonight as it launches its summer-long festival, which will include entertainment, vendors, food, and a larger security presence. John DeMauro, owner of Urban Tap, tells KDKA-TV that he thinks the planning that went into the event to keep it orderly will work.
I think Zone 3 is a very good plan as far as making sure that there's just 2 entrance points for people to come in. I don't see it as an issue.
Some other businesses that sell food and alcohol, though, are worried that the street vendors will pull customers from them. New ownership for a building on Smithfield Street in downtown Pittsburgh. Herky Pollock's Legacy Realty purchasing 610 Smithfield Street. That's the building that houses Brooks Brothers. Pollock tells KDK Radio that the area surrounding Mellon Square is rebounding.
Pittsburgh's transforming. It's transforming from habitually being an office city that not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, to being a mixed-use development that has residents and parks and people who are living here and hotels and entertainment. And so it's going to play much differently than it did in years past.
Pollock says his investments in downtown Pittsburgh are a sign of his bullish beliefs in the city. A UN meeting dissolved into a shouting match Friday over the war in Gaza. Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon argued sharply with committee leadership after the UN placed Israel on a list of nations accused of committing sexual violence in conflict zones.
It should not be personal. You're part of the bullying. I have a point of order. Shame on you. I have a point of order. You spoke, I now will I not speak. walk out. You walk out. We have verified evidence. You're part of this. This is a point of order. You're part of this obsession. No personal You're part of this obsession.
Caution on California's coast. It's because of what's being described as sneaker waves, and they've been blamed for a number of injuries and some deaths. ABC's Alex Stone reports now from Santa Monica, California.
A deadly week on California beaches with the threat of sneaker waves, rip currents, and high tides. Bay Cadet says she's lucky to be alive. She says she was fishing off a beach when a sneaker wave swept her away.
It swallowed me up very easily. The ocean is not our friend.
Sneaker wave warnings are up around California through Sunday. And again, lifeguards say do not turn your back toward the waves and keep children at an arm's distance if around the water.
KDK Sports, pinch hitter Braxton Fulford hit a go-ahead 2-run double in the 8th inning, leading the Colorado Rockies to a 4-3 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rockies starter Kyle Freeland reaches his 1,000th career strikeout, becoming the second player in that franchise history to achieve the milestone. The Pirates, by the way, had taken a 3-2 lead earlier in the 8th inning by scoring all 3 of their runs. And then later in the game, Antonio Senzatella escaped a bases-loaded jam of the 9th to secure the victory. Post-game celebrations in the Emerald City after the U.S. men's soccer team defeated Australia 2-0 in Seattle Friday. Zach Brust of Florida is among the visitors in the World Cup host city.
The perfect host for